Dear learners, welcomes to today's session. So I am extremely sorry and begged apology to all of you. To there is some problem. I mean, whatever the technical problem, you had not conducted the last two class properly. So finally, we arrived, and I welcome to our counselor. He's a no doubt he's a very good academic counselor, and he's a senior most person. Dr. Prashant Kumar Voi. I welcome you, sir,
Thank you, sir.
and I welcome all the learners. Learners, thank you for your patience. So, learners, I can tell you, I mean, you can continue our class up to 8th. Okay? Then you will start our 132 class. Again, whatever your left out class, 2 class was there because we are going to conduct the 6th class in BSOC 131. So, 16 and 17. The next two class we will do. Okay? So, I mean, what are the third and fourth class will conduct on 16th and 17th. Okay? So, whoever your friend want to join, you can tell them, yeah, I will send a message to all of you. I mean, but if you know, then you can tell them. And I mean, I already told you. I mean, I don't want to waste much time. So you all are put your mic in the mute mode and write your enrollment number and name in the chat box for the attendance purpose. Okay. So if you have any doubt, if any query after completion of your presentation, you can ask to sir or ask to me. Any if any doubt is there, unmute your mic, then you ask. So with these words, no doubt it's a very tough time. I mean, with very short notice, sir has admitted, accepted my invitation. I must thanks to Prasan sir. Okay. So with these words, I welcome you, sir, for today's session.
Sir,
I hand over the session to Dr. Voi.
sir. Thank you, sir. Welcome all learners and good morning, everyone. And I hope this is the sociology, uh, the uh, the fundamental classes through these units 1 to 13, I suppose. And definitely we are going to have a good time. And so far, your sociology is concerned, rather the students are quite unknown to this new your social science sociology, the youngest social science that we are going to have in this year classes. So let's before going through the units uh, thoroughly, let's just I want to make you know what sociology is all about in simple languages. Then only we'll go through the emergence of sociology, the theories related to your sociology, then your anthropology, social anthropology, and all that. So just I am giving you a little bit general concept, a little bit in a easier way, so as to make you understood sociology. What is sociology is all about? Let's start. So if you see the emergence of civilizations or the existence of human existence in this your earth, it goes back to something 5000 years BC, ଯେବେଠୁ ଏଠି ସଭ୍ୟତାର ବିକାଶ ହେଲା। କିନ୍ତୁ ଯୋଉ ଯୋଉ ଜାଗାରେ ବି ସଭ୍ୟତାର ବିକାଶ ହେଲା, ଆମେ ଯଦି ଦେଖିବା ଯୋଉ ଇଭଲ୍ୟୁସନ ପ୍ରୋସେସ କୁ, ସେମାନଙ୍କର ଇମର୍ଜେନ୍ସ କୁ ଯଦି ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା, ତ ସେମାନେ ଆସିଲେ କେମିତିଆ ଏକ ନୋମାଡିକ ଷ୍ଟେଜ ରୁ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହେଲା। ସପୋଜ ଯେମିତି କି ଫଳମୂଳ ଗୋଟେଇବା ଷ୍ଟେଜ ରୁ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହେଲା, କଞ୍ଚା ମାଂସ ଖାଇବେ, ଯାଯାବର ଭଳିଆ ବୁଲିବେ। ତାପରେ ସେଇ ପ୍ରୋସେସ ରୁ ପୁଣି ତାଙ୍କୁ 100 years 1000 years ଲାଗୁଛି, ନଟ୍ 1000 ରାଦର 100 of years ତାଙ୍କୁ ଲାଗୁଛି ନେକ୍ସଟ ଷ୍ଟେଜ କୁ ଆସିବା ପାଇଁ। ତାପରେ ଆମର ପ୍ରସ୍ତର ଯୁଗ, ତାପରେ ନିଆଁର ବ୍ୟବହାର, ତାପରେ ସେମାନେ ଶସ୍ୟର ଆବିଷ୍କାର କଲେ। ତାପରେ ସେମାନେ ଯୋଉ ଯୋଉ ଜାଗାରେ ପାଣିର ସୋର୍ସେସ ରହିଲା, ସେଇ ଜାଗା ମାନଙ୍କରେ ସେମାନେ ପରମାନେଣ୍ଟ ସେଟଲମେଣ୍ଟ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହେଲା। ଇଏ ହଉଛି ଗୋଟେ ଇଭଲ୍ୟୁସନ ପ୍ରୋସେସ। ତ ମୋର କହିବା ଉଦ୍ଦେଶ୍ୟ ହଉଛି ମଣିଷ ଯୋଉ ଏକ ପ୍ରାକୃତିକ ଜୀବନ ଯାପନ କରୁଥିଲା, ସେ ପ୍ରାକୃତିକ ଜୀବନ ଯାପନ ପରବର୍ତ୍ତୀ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟାୟରେ ଏକ ଏକ ବିଧିବଦ୍ଧ ଏକ ସାମାଜିକ ଜୀବନ ଯାପନର ଆରମ୍ଭ ହେଲା ଏବଂ ଏହି ପ୍ରକାର ଏକ ଜୀବନ ଯାପନ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହେବା ପାଇଁ ବହୁତ ସମୟ ଲାଗିଲା ମଣିଷକୁ ଏକ ସାମାଜିକ ଜୀବନ ଯୋଉଥିରେ କି କିଛି ଅନେକ ଗୁଡ଼ିଏ ପରିବାର ଏକା ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ରହିକି ସେମାନଙ୍କ ଦୈନନ୍ଦିନ ଆବଶ୍ୟକତାକୁ ପୁରା କରିବାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କଲେ। ତ ମଣିଷ ପ୍ରାକୃତିକ ଜୀବନରୁ ଏକ ସୁସ୍ଥ ଏକ ସାମାଜିକ ଜୀବନ ଯାପନ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ବହୁତ ସମୟ ଲାଗିଗଲା ଏବଂ ଏହି ପ୍ରକାର ସଭ୍ୟତାର ବିକାଶ କେବଳ ଆମର ଇଣ୍ଡସ୍ ସିଭିଲାଇଜେସନ ନୁହେଁ, ରାଦର ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା ମେସୋପୋଟାମିଆକୁ ଯାଉ, ବେବିଲୋନିଆ କିମ୍ବା ତମର ଇଫ୍ ୟୁ ଗो ମିଶର କୁ ଯିବା, ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଜାଗାରେ ଯୋଉ ଯୋଉ ଜାଗାରେ ବି ସୋର୍ସେସ୍ ରହିଲେ, ପାଣିର ସୋର୍ସେସ୍ ରହିଲା, ତାପରେ ଅଦର୍ସ ଜୀବନ ଜୀବିକା ପାଇଁ ସେମାନେ ଯୋଉ ଯୋଉ ଜାଗାରେ ବି ସୁବିଧା ପାଇଲେ ସେଇଠି ସେମାନେ ଏକ ପର୍ମାନେଣ୍ଟ ସେଟଲମେଣ୍ଟ ଆରମ୍ଭ କଲେ। ତ ଏହି ପ୍ରକାର ହିସାବରେ ଏକ ସାମାଜିକ ଜୀବନ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହେଲା। କିନ୍ତୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଏହି ସାମାଜିକ ଜୀବନ ଆକୁ ଆକୁ ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ଗତି କରିବା ଆରମ୍ଭ କଲା, ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ जनसंख्या बढ़िला, मनुष्य प्राकृतिक जीवन रु ओहरी पारि नथिला। सेमाने जेहेतु विज्ञान सम्मत विज्ञान रो अभाव थिला, शिक्षा विज्ञान रो बहुत दूर रे एई मनुष्य मानकर जो थॉट प्रोसेस थिला टोटाली एक डोरमेंट स्टेज रे सेमाने जहा किछि प्रकृति को देखुतले, प्रकृति जहा भी सेमाने किछि जहा भी सेमाने ताकर चिंता परिवार शक्ति एतिला ताको सेमाने इंटरप्रेट करे चेष्टा करथले एवं सेही हिसाब रे ताकर सामाजिक व्यवहार एवं ताकर दैनंदिन जीवन आवश्यकता पूरा करबा पई ताकर जो
Sir,
लड़ाई से सब।
sir,
हाँ सर।
please mix the language English and Hindi. I mean English and Odia.
ओके ओके सर। तो किछिटा पिला कहंती सर आपण पूरा इंग्लिश कहि देले असुविधा होछि, तो ठीक है सर, आई एम ट्राइंग माय बेस्ट वेज टू मिक्स इट। सो व्हेन this particular your settlement went on, after some decades it was found that तांकर जो सामाजिक जीवन थिला, तांकर सोशल लाइफ थिला, ताहा भरपूर हे गला अनेक गुडे मिसकनसेप्शन। तब ସେମାନେ जो नेचर को ସେମାନେ जो इंटरप्रेट कले से नेचर को इंटरप्रिटेशंस मध्ये तांकर गलत रहिला, जहा कि तांकर झलक रहिला तांकर सोशल लाइफ ऊपर अनेक गुडे कुसंस्कार अंधविश्वास माड़ी आसिला। इफ विल गो टू द हमें डार्क एज ऑफ जदी यूरोपियन सोसाइटी को देखिबा, सेठी ସେମାନେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଅନେକ ଗୁଡे जो प्राकृतिक जिनस जो जहा भी ସେମାନେ देखुतिले से सब सभ्यता रे ସେମାନେ ताकू इंटरप्रेट कले अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर ओन एवं एथिरे अनेक गुडे कुसंस्कार आरंभ हो गला। एमिति ସେମାନେ सामाजिक जीवन यापन आरंभ कले, एक गोष्ठीबद्ध जीवन यापन कले फॉर देयर नीड्स। मनुष्यर प्रकृति देयर नेचर एवं तांकर जो वांट्स बा तांकर जो नेसेसिटीज तांकू तो कंपेल करथिला, दे वर कंपेल्ड टू कम टुगेदर। किंतु तांकर जो सोशल बिहेवियर बा जो तांकर जो डे टू डे एक्टिविटीज रे अनेक गुडे आवश्यकता पूरा कला बेले जो तांकर वे ऑफ जो बिहेवियर थिला दे से गुडा को ए लॉट ऑफ कंफ्यूजन वाज देयर। तापरे एमितिया कि ସେମାନେ आचार व्यवहार कले जहा कि वर्तमान जुग में देखिबा ताको आमे इनह्यूमन बेली कहा जिवो। जेमति कि सपोज गुटे एग्जांपल मु दोछि, सपोज जेमति कि भल फसल हेबा पय हल्दी क्यारी रे मनुष्य बलि देबा किंबा प्रकृति को प्रकृति उपासना समय रे ସେମାନେ अनेक गुडे तमर एमितिया कुसंस्कार को ସେମାନେ भितरे पुरेले। So a lot of confusions, a lot of your misconception regarding your natural events तांको दिमाग रे आसे। ସେମାନେ जहा जहा भी किछि ସେମାନେ प्रकृति को देखिले बा तांकर तो सोशल एनवायरनमेंट को जाऊ बा तांकर इमीडिएट एनवायरनमेंट जहा भी ସେମାନେ लक्ष्य कले से सब को तांकर इंटरप्रिटेशंस ता विदाउट साइंस विदाउट एक प्रॉपर एक रैशनल थॉट रो बाहर थिला। जहा कि किछि सह वर्ष परे लोक संख्या बढ़िले, सामाजिक जीवन आकु आकु बढ़ी चलला, किंतु सामाजिक जीवन रो जो चलणी बा व्यवहार कथा परंपरा जहा भी किछि ସେମାନେ मानुथिले बा ताकर वे ऑफ लाइफ जहा थिला ताहा विदाउट साइंस विदाउट रैशनल थिंकिंग विदाउट योर बेस्ड नॉलेज किछि नथिला, जदरा कि अनेक गुडे हमर इविल प्रैक्टिसेस स्टार्ट हे गला। जहा कि परवर्ती पर्याय रे या इको लाइफ को परवर्ती पॉलिटिकल लाइफ को ताहा यार नेगेटिव इंपैक्ट रहिला। तेणु परवर्ती पर्याय चिंता करा गला कि मनुष्य धीरे धीरे देल के ताकर इवोल्यूशन प्रोसेस आकु आकु बढ़ी चलले, से समय ସେମାନେ प्रथमे आरंभ कले नेचुरल फिनोमेना को स्टडी करबा जतले टिके ସେମାନେ विज्ञान रो टच रे आसिले। बस व्हेन दे केम अक्रॉस लिटिल बिट योर नॉलेज तांकर जे थॉट प्रोसेस टिके डेवलप कला, दे स्टार्टेड इंटरप्रेटिंग द योर नेचुरल फिनोमेना फास्ट। जे काहे कि फूल कड़ीटा फुटिकी फूल होउची, काहे कि घड़घड़ी मारुची, काहे कि बिजली ये होला, ताको धीरे धीरे बुझा पय चेष्टा कले। जहा कि आगरु ସେମାନେ ताको एक अनसीन फोर्स रो एक तांकर काम बोली ସେମାନେ चिंता करथले, they started interpreting all this natural phenomena first, जोथि ପାଇଁ कि सोशल साइंस रो डेवलपमेंट आगरु ढेर आगरु आमे हमर जो नेचुरल साइंसेस गुडा कहला फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री बायोलॉजी दे डेवलप फास्ट परवर्ती पर्याय रे मनीष माने चिंता कले कि एज लाइक द नेचुरल साइंसेस इट इज वेरी मच नेसेसरी so as to interpret the social phenomena taking into consideration in the light of science so as to have a smooth social life मनीष प्राकृतिक जीवन रु जेमति कि हमर क्वाय जे सोशल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट थ्योरी रे बाय जोथरे मनीष एक प्राकृतिक जीवन यापन करथला परवर्ती पर्याय रे टिके सोशल तांकर सोशल थॉट टिके डेवलप कला एवं समान चिंता कले जे हमें प्राकृतिक जीवन रु जो हमर जो एक बीस्टली लाइफ जो अछि we should get it from this your particular way of life and definitely we should submit little bit our all your you can say the ego or you can say the yourself and we'll cooperate each other so as to make our life quite bit your smooth and so as to satisfy all the needs by cooperating each other. That is your social contract among the people then so as to have a good social life. तो এই হিসাবে ধীরে ধীরে मनीष प्राकृतिक जीवन रु जो प्राकृतिक मनीष थिला से प्राकृतिक मनीष परवर्ती पर्याय धीरे धीरे से एक विज्ञान सम्मत जुग आड़ को मुहाइला एवं परवर्ती पर्याय यह चिंता करागला जे हमर सोशल फेनोमेना जहाँ कि हमर चारिपटे अछि बा हमर सोशल लाइफ को लिटिल बिट साइंस रो आलो रे आमे ताकू आमे देखिबा जरूरी स्कैन करबा आरंभ होला जे वेदर आवर सोशल लाइफ or whatever the thought whatever the your traditions whatever the culture that you are associated with that should be interpreted in the light of science so that जेतकी भी हमरा ए जो साइंस हेबा द्वारा कोन हबो जे स्कैनिंग हे गला जे नै ए प्रकार इविल प्रैक्टिस रा दे पर्टिकुलर दोज योर एक्टिविटीज ऑल दोज योर बिलीफ प्रैक्टिसेस इट हैज नो मीनिंग एवं सेहितरु मनुष्य मुक्ति पाइबे चेष्टा करूतला so as to have a smooth social life एवं सही चिंताधारा होई ए सोशियोलॉजी रो आरंभ बोले कहा जाई पारे तो सोशियोलॉजी को आमे जदि आमे डिफाइन करबे इट इज योर study of science study of your society taking into consideration the scientific by applying scientific method through your research by applying research methodology as per your science so that the social phenomenon can easily be interpreted एवं आमर सोशल लाइफ को आउरी स्मूथ करा जाई पारिबो एहा थला आयुमुखी दिस इज द यंगेस्ट सोशल साइंस कारण आगरु अनेक गुडे जिंस आवश्यकता अनुसार आमर अर्थनैतिक आवश्यकता थिला आमर वांट्स थिला ताको सैटिस्फाई करा पय मनुष्य प्रथम चिंता कला देन योर टू हैव ए योर कलेक्टिव डेवलपमेंट पय एक लीडरशिप आवश्यकता थिला जोतरे आमर मोनार्की स्टार्ट हे गला मोनार्की परे परे देन वी केम टू योर डेमोक्रेटिक सेटअप तो पॉलिटिकल लाइफ एवं इको लाइफ आमर सोशल लाइफ स्टडी करबा बहुत ढेर आगुर ताको आउरे इंटरप्रेट करा जायतिला एवं अनेक गुडे रूल्स रेगुलेशंस रिलेटेड टू योर इको लाइफ रिलेटेड टू योर पॉलिटिकल लाइफ पॉलिटिकल इंस्टीट्यूशंस इको इंस्टीट्यूशंस को एस्टैब्लिश हेतिला किंतु आमर सामाजिक जीवन संबंध रे किबा आमर इमीडिएट ह्यूमन एनवायरनमेंट को प्रॉपर्ली स्टडी करागला बहुत परे जाय एवं एहा सेते बेले हला जते लोके आवश्यकता को अनुभव कले कारण आमे बहुत आकु आमर ह्यूमन एक्जिस्टेंस जेबे टू एठी आरंभ हला विभिन्न सभ्यता गुडा को आरंभ हला तातु ढेर अनेक युग परे जाय आमे एई आवश्यकता को अनुभव कले जे नाइ द सोशल इंस्टीट्यूशंस ऑल योर सोशल रिलेशनशिप ऑल योर सोशल बिहेवियर व्हाटएवर द बिलीफ प्रैक्टिसेस जहां हमर संगे अटैच अछि दैट शुड बी इंटरप्रेटेड साइंटिफिकली कारण लोके अनुभव कर सारथिले जे व्हाटएवर द सोशल लाइफ दैट वी आर लीडिंग और व्हाटएवर द belief practices whatever the your institutions they are operating within ourselves those are not scientifically tested scientifically based सेगुडा को नहंती एवं ताकू बाहर कले जाई से इविल प्रैक्टिसेस गुडा को हमर सोशल लाइफ का प्रॉपर स्मूथ हे पाइबा लोक चिंता कले एवं सोशल फेनोमेना को साइंटिफिकली टेस्टेड करबा पई आरंभ होला एवं 1838 बेले को दिस पर्टिकुलर योर sociology concept emerged by your Auguste Comte and the interpretations of social life started. So in your unit 1 emergence of sociology and social anthropology first of all मु कहि दिए जे ए जो एंथ्रोपोलॉजी कथा होतुची एंथ्रोपोलॉजी हमर अनेक गुडे ଆମେ ଯଦି ବିଜ୍ଞାନ ବିଜ୍ଞାନ ହଉଛି ଦ ଫ୍ୟାକ୍ଟ ବେସ୍ଡ ୟୋର ନଲେଜ। ତାକୁ ଆମେ ଦୁଇ ଭାଗ କରୁଛେ, ପ୍ରାକୃତିକ ବିଜ୍ଞାନ ଏପଟେ ଆମର ସାମାଜିକ ବିଜ୍ଞାନ। ପ୍ରାକୃତିକ ବିଜ୍ଞାନରେ they are applying all your scientific methods so as to interpret your natural phenomena. Accordingly, the physics, the chemistry, the mathematics, your biology, geology, that started interpreting your natural phenomena. एपटे ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା your social sciences ରେ you are getting your history. The main focus is your past society ଯେବେଠୁ ଆମ ପାଖରେ ଆମର proof based ଆମ ପାଖେ facts ଅଛି ତାକୁ ଆମେ interpret କରିବାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରୁଛେ so as to get the details of your past life. It is a descriptive social science. Then your political science, it is that focus on your state and government so as to get your a collective development in the society. Then your sociology, that is the youngest one. Sociology, the youngest social science. କାରଣ ଆଗରୁ ମୁଁ କହି ସାରିଛି ଯେ the interpretations of your eco life and political life was much more earlier than your interpretation of social life. So if you see the emergence of sociology, we should consider some of the factors that help so as to get into study of your social life. That we should discuss the factors those are responsible, those are associated with your social life and your the these and your society. So let's discuss some of the factors those are responsible for the emergence of sociology. So in order to understand the emergence of sociology as a social science discipline, it is imperative to understand the socio-economic, political and scientific factors. The factors that I कहूतले मु जे socio-economic, political and scientific factors are responsible so as to emergence of your sociology or interpreting your social phenomena. जाके compel करतला से समय so as to have the so as to have an insight into your social life. First of all, आमे मु just टिके आगु कहि सकते जे जेतेबेले मनिष प्रथमे आरंभ in the beginning stage, you know, social thought तो कहि पानी तांकर जो thought process थिला ता बहुत dormant stage रे थिला. ସେମାନେ ଯାହା ବି କିଛି ଘଟଣା ଘଟୁଥିଲା, whatever the phenomena they were encountering in their day to day life, ତାକୁ ସେମାନେ ଏକ unseen force ର ଏକ କାରନାମା ବା the act of your unseen force ବୋଲି ସେମାନେ ଚିନ୍ତା କରୁଥିଲେ ଏବଂ ତାକୁ taken for granted ନିଆ ହଉଥିଲା whatever the situations they were facing in their day to day life. ଏବଂ ସେଇ ସମୟରେ ଏଇ particular thought କୁ regulate କରୁଥିଲେ ଯେ ନାଇଁ this is the act of unseen force. Church in the European countries, in the your Indian context ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା the temples, the people associated with your attached with your temples, the people associated with your church in Europe, they were acting as the middlemen so as to simplify the God's act in different your events in different situations that at that time that the people were your facing. ଏବଂ ତେଣୁ ଅନ୍ଧବିଶ୍ୱାସ ବା ଆମର ଯୋଉ ଇଭିଲ୍ ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିସେସ୍ ଗୁଡାକ rampant ସମୟ ଚାଲିଥିଲା. କିନ୍ତୁ 18th ଏବଂ 19th century ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ socially economically rather ଏବଂ ଅନ୍ୟାନ୍ୟ scientifically ଟିକେ development ଆମର start ହେଇଗଲା, ସେତେବେଳେ the people started questioning the interpretations made by these people. They started asking why. Then these your proper investigations, proper interpretations of social phenomena started, and this is due to your socio-eco and your scientifically जो आमे जो development रहला सेति पाए ही आमे किछि मात्रा रे आमे social phenomena को interpret करिया पई आगे आसिले. Western Europe in the 18th-19th century witnessed rapid and profound changes. This led to a paradigm shift to the understanding of society and also of the individual's place in it. So the development in your science, development in your eco sphere in 18th and 19th century in Europe, that acted as a force that acted as a factor so as to interpret the social phenomena properly. Paradigm shift ହେଇଥିଲା ମଣିଷ ମାନଙ୍କର ତାଙ୍କ ଚିନ୍ତା ଚେତନାରେ ତାଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ବିଚାରରେ considerable advances were taking place in terms of scientific discovery and scientific methodology in this era of your 18th and 19th century. Natural sciences, through still in your nascent stages, began developing systematic methods for study of the physical world. First of all, the people started understanding, the people started interpreting the physical world first. ଯେମିତି ମୁଁ ଆଗରୁ କହୁଥିଲି ଯେ ଆମେ ଆମର social science ର development ର ଖୁବ ଆଗରୁ ଆମର physical sciences ର development start ହେଇଯାଇଥିଲା. First of all, they started interpreting the your immediate your human environment. ଅନେକ ଗୁଡିଏ ଜିନିଷ ତାଙ୍କ ମନରେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ୍ସ ଉଠୁଥିଲା ଯେ ଏଇଟା କଣ ପାଇଁ ହଉଛି, ସେଇଟା କଣ ପାଇଁ ହଉଛି, ବିଭିନ୍ନ ପ୍ରାକୃତିକ ଯୋଉ ଘଟଣା ଗୁଡିକ ଘଟୁଛି ତାକୁ ସେମାନେ ଜାଣିବା ପାଇଁ ବହୁତ ଇଗର ଥିଲେ। ତେଣୁ ଫିଜିକାଲ ୱାର୍ଲଡ କୁ ପ୍ରଥମେ ସେମାନେ start interpreting by 18th and 19th century. The questions that occupied the minds of early sociologists like Kant and Durkheim was, could a similar scientific and systematic approach be applied to the study of the human social world? Then, after interpreting the immediate your human environment, the sociologists like your Durkheim, the sociologists like your Auguste Comte, they also they had a thought whether the social phenomena can be your interpreted scientifically. तो आमे जो प्रकार हमर वे ऑफ लिविंग अछि बा आमे जो प्रकार एक थॉट प्रोसेस ने की बंचुछे, जो प्रकार हमर प्रथा परंपरा को ने की बंचुछे, जो प्रकार हमर सोशल नॉर्म्स हमको रेगुलेट करूछि किबा जो सोशल इंस्टीट्यूशन रो हमर डे टू डे एक्टिविटीज को रेगुलेट करछि बा हमर ह्यूमन वांट्स को ये करछि, सेही मानकर फंक्शंस को बा सब प्रकार चिंताधारा को साइंटिफिकली इंटरप्रेट करा जाय परिबो कि दिस थॉट केम फास्ट टू द सोशलिस्ट लाइक योर डरखाइम एंड योर अगस्ट कम. Scientific and technological advances led to the transformations from a traditional rural agrarian society to a modern urban industrial society. धीरे धीरे the transformations came with the development of science, with the development of your technology, and we started shifting from your rural agrarian society to an urban society. आमे एक modern society आड़को आमे मुहिथिले एवं जेतेबेले आमे एई फेज को आसिले सेही समय रे अनेक गुडे क्वेश्चन स्टार्ट हे गला टू आवर योर सोशल लाइफ, द व्हाटएवर द प्रैक्टिसेस बिलीफ्स जहां भी किछि थिला सब जिंस को जानिया पय मनुष्य चेष्टा कला. Due to new inventions as well as the new your development in your socio-eco life, the scale of production changed from small home based to large scale factors like enterprises. Alongside such developments, there were also widespread social, eco, and political changes that had a profound effect on Western European societies, including major political objects. First of all, a sea change came in your European your community, European societies, particularly due to the development. We will discuss it in your later stage, like your French your revolutions, then your industrializations, the impact of industrializations and your French revolutions on your European society, and how that particular factors your had a great impact on your social thoughts and your social living of the people of the then European countries. These extensive changes, though central to the process of industrializations and modernizations, rather created a paradoxical situation. Paradoxical because it was marked by hope and despair simultaneously. This particular changes जो आसिला due to industrializations and your modernizations in the European country, that had a mixed your impact on the then society. The people started shifting from the way of life to change ହେଲା तापर थॉट प्रोसेस रे यार अनेक गुडे इंपैक्ट रहिला जाको होप एवं डेस्पेयर बोली कहा जिवो. हठात गोटे चेंज को से माने ग्रहण करि पार नथिले. अनेक गुडे तमरा थिंकर्स थिले जे माने के लोक पुश करथले सोसाइटी को सो एज टू हैव ए शिफ्ट फ्रॉम ए रूरल एग्रीरियन सोसाइटी टू ए मॉडर्न सोसाइटी with a lot of changes in the way of life, a lot of changes in the sense of your their thought process, belief and practices and all that. Hope, because of the transmissions of social, economic, cultural, and political aspects of life from an erstwhile traditional society towards what was viewed as rational and enlightened philosophy. These particular changes brought a sea change. The people became rational, enlightened, and enlightened philosophy came then after these changes. especially with reference to the rule of the church in the dark ages, particularly in the European country. अच्छा से समय कौन होतला particularly the church, the hub of the everything, as like India रे मध्य temple is the hub of everything. the सेठी ସେମାନେ ଯାହା ଇଣ୍ଟରପ୍ରିଟ କରୁଥିଲେ, ମନେକର ସପୋଜ ଗୋଟେ ଛୋଟ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ଦଉଛି, ଆମେ ଆଜିକାଲି ବି ଆମେ ସପୋଜ ଆମ ଜୀବନରେ ଯଦି କିଛି ଗୋଟେ ସପୋଜ ଇଫ ୟୁ ଆର ଆମର କିଛି ଆର୍ଥିକ ଦୁସ୍ଥିତି ଆସୁଛି, ଆମେ ବେଲେ ବେଲେ ଆମେ କନସଲ୍ଟ କରୁଛୁ କୌଣସି ଏକ ପାର୍ଟିକୁଲାର ପୂଜାରୀକୁ ବା କୌଣସି ବ୍ରାହ୍ମଣଙ୍କୁ, ଯିଏକି ଆମେ କହୁଛୁ ଯେ ଆମର ରାଶି ନକ୍ଷତ୍ରରେ କିଛି ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ଅଛି କି ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ତ, ସୋ ଦ୍ୟାଟ ଆମର ଆର୍ଥିକ ପ୍ରଗତି ହେଇପାରୁନାହିଁ ବା ମୋର ବିଜନେସ ମୋର ଲସ୍ ହଉଛି ବା ଏମିତି ଅନେକ ଗୁଡେ ଅସୁବିଧା ଅଛି, ସେ ସମୟରେ ସେମାନେ ତାକୁ ଅନେକ ଗୁଡେ ଦେଖିକି ଆମର ରାଶି ନକ୍ଷତ୍ର ଗଣନା କରିକି ଅନେକ ଗୁଡେ ସେମାନେ ତାର ପ୍ରତିକାରର ସେମାନେ ବ୍ୟବସ୍ଥା କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଏବଂ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଏମିତି ଏମିତି କଲେ ତୁମର ଖରାପ ଦଶାଟା ଦୂରେଇ ଯିବ, ଦେନ୍ ଇକୋନୋମିକାଲି ବା ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଯାହା ବି କିଛି ସମସ୍ୟା ଅଛି ତାହା ଦୂର ହେଇଯିବ। ତ ଏଇ ପ୍ରକାର ଜିନିଷ ଗୁଡାକ ତାପରେ ସେ ସମୟରେ ଚର୍ଚ୍ଚ ସେମିତିଆ ସେଠି ୟୁରୋପିଆନ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିରେ, ଏଠି ଟେମ୍ପୁଲ ତମର ଯୋଉ ଇଏ ଥିଲା ସେଟଅପ୍ ଥିଲା, ଏଠିକାର ଯୋଉ ମିଡିଲ ମ୍ୟାନ ଥିଲେ ସେଇମାନେ ସବୁ କିଛି କରୁଥିଲେ। ତାପରେ ଏଜ ଏ ହୋଲ ସୋସାଇଟିକୁ ଯୋଉ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଲ କରୁଥିଲେ ମୋନାର୍କିସ୍ ଥିଲା ସେ ସମୟରେ, ରାଜା ମାନଙ୍କୁ କୁହାଯାଉଥିଲା ଯେ ସେମାନେ ହଉଛନ୍ତି ଭଗବାନଙ୍କର ଦୂତ ବା ସେମାନେ ହଉଛନ୍ତି ଦ ଫାଷ୍ଟ ମ୍ୟାନ, ଯିଏକି ଭଗବାନଙ୍କଠୁ ବା ଅନସିନ୍ ଫୋର୍ସେସ ଟୁ ସେମାନେ ଯାହା କିଛି ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦେଶ ପାଉଛନ୍ତି according they are ruling the society. So whatever the rules imposed by them, that should be taken into granted, and accordingly the people will be regulated, the people will be administered accordingly. ତ ଲୋକେ ତାକୁ ଚ୍ୟାଲେଞ୍ଜ କରୁନଥିଲେ due to lack of science, due to lack of your what is that you can say thought process ତ dormant stage ହେଇଥିଲା। କିନ୍ତୁ after the development in your science, ଯେତେବେଳେ ଇଣ୍ଡଷ୍ଟ୍ରିଆଲାଇଜେସନ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହେଇଗଲା, ଆମେ ମଡର୍ନାଇଜେସନ ଆସିଲେ, ତାପରେ ଲୋକେ they started questioning all the your social norms, all the established जो से समय थिला जहाँ भी किसी प्रथा परंपरा थिला, the people started questioning on that. एवं चर्च रो जो पर्टिकुलर जो डोमिनेंस थिला बा एठी जो टेंपल रो जो डोमिनेंस थिला बा अन्य जो रिलीजियस जो इंस्टीट्यूशन रो तांकर जो डोमिनेंस थिला ताको लोके चैलेंज करबा आरंभ कले आफ्टर दिस योर डेवलपमेंट इन योर सोशियो इको लाइफ in 18th and 19th century after industrialization and modernization. Sociology as a distinct discipline emerged in the background of these intellectual and material social changes taking place in the latter half of the 19th century. এবং এই সময়ে হি particularly the sociology as a subject, sociology as a concept that emerged so as to interpret your social life, to study your society, to study your human existence in the particular setup started. Let's see the age of enlightenment. Enlightenment or the age of reason, this is the age of reason, was a period of intellectual development which brought about significant changes in the philosophical thought in Europe in the 18th century. So you can say the dark age परे परे यूरोप अंधकार युग परे परे एक नूतन युग आरंभ होला, ताका मैं कहूछु एज ऑफ रीजन। एनलाइटेंड हेले लोक एवं they started questioning all the your whatever the interpretations made by the people, those who were regulating, controlling the social life, they started questioning all these things, so it is called as the age of reason. Many existing ideas and beliefs relating to social life were overthrown and replaced during this period. The most prominent thinkers associated with the Enlightenment were the French philosopher Charles Montesquieu and Jean-Jacques Rousseau. These are some of your thinkers or the philosophers who started this particular new your age with their new thoughts, with their new your what the enlightened speech through writings and all that, so as to make people aware that we are no more in the dark age, rather we are proceeding to an age of reason. This period marked a radical change from the then existing philosophies of feudal Europe, and it brought a sea change in the setup of your feudal era of Europe, The social and moral orders were no longer considered as divinely ordained and sacrosanct. ଯାହାକି ଆଗରୁ ସବୁ କିଛି ଆମର ଯାହା ବି କିଛି ବ୍ୟବସ୍ଥା ଥିଲା ସାମାଜିକ ଆର୍ଥିକ ରାଜନୈତିକ ଯେ ବ୍ୟବସ୍ଥା ଗୁଡିକ ଅପରେଟ କରୁଥିଲେ ବା ଯୋଉ ପ୍ରକାର ଇନଷ୍ଟିଟ୍ୟୁସନ ଗୁଡାକ ଦ୍ୱାରା ଆମେ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଲ ହଉଥିଲେ ତାକୁ नो मोर इट वाज कंसिडर्ड योर सेक्रेसेंट बा टोटल तांकर जो कंट्रोल रे थिला द पीपल क्वेश्चनिंग ऑल दैट इंडिविजुअल्स became increasingly rational and critical departing from the age old divine right माने जो रूलर कर जो डिवाइन राइट थिला द पर्टिकुलरली मु जस्ट के अगर कहते द पर्टिकुलरली द मोनार्क पर्टिकुलरली they were considering that we have all the divine rights so as to administer the people so as to control the people so as to impose all the your restrictions rules and regulations to regulate the social behavior सही राइट को लोके चैलेंज कले एवं ओवरटर्न करबा आरंभ करथिले now in this in your enlightened age or your in the age of reason nothing was considered your sacrosanct from the church to the state to the authority of the monarch nothing was now infallible so people started questioning and they proceeded to a new age of reason the roots of such ideas as the belief that both nature and society can be studied empirically that human beings are essentially rational and that such a society built on rational principles will make human beings realize their infinite potentials was seen as a result of the industrial and scientific revolutions. And this all could this be possible? Yeah, sambhav hoy parila due to your scientific and industrial revolutions. People came in contact with the science and technology. New thought, new changes came in the your social life. ଏବଂ ଏହା ହିଁ ଚାହୁଁଥିଲେ ସେ ସମୟର ଫିଲୋସଫର୍ସ ଏବଂ ଯୋଉ ଥିଙ୍କର୍ସ ଥିଲେ that a sea change has to be brought in the social life ଆମେ ଏପଟେ ନ୍ୟାଚୁରାଲ ସାଇନ୍ସ ରେ ଆମେ ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟ ଯେତିକି ହଉଥିଲା ସେଇ ପ୍ରକାରେ ଆମେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଏଠି ଆଶା କରୁଥିଲେ the philosophers the thinkers they were realizing that we also need a sea change in the social life ଯାହାକି as per the development of natural science ହେଇ ପାରୁନଥିଲା so they started applying all your scientific method so as to interpret the existing your social life another factors that contributed a lot to the study of your society that is your scientific revolution Europe produced a scientific revolution in the Renaissance period of 14th to 16th century which was marked by a new attitude towards man and nature scientific revolutions denotes a new attitude towards man and nature when the people started interpreting the your what the natural your phenomenon that broadened their ideas broadened their attitude so as to interpret your social life also they started thinking they as like your interpretations of your natural phenomena you can also have a close your insight into your social activities social behaviors social institutions by applying scientific method so as to have our life quite bit better or scientific than before natural objects became the subject of close observations and experiment the impact of this revolution was crucial therefore not just in changing material life but also the ideas which people held about nature and society this your the new attitude towards man and nature that uh, made people uh, have their shifting of their thought towards changing material life some major developments of these scientific revolutions were Copernican revolutions and the movement towards a heliocentric theory from the previous your geocentric one, the ushering of the age of experienced scientists like Galileo, then your Kepler, Isaac Newton, that revolutionized science and led to a growing desire of sociologists to build a science of society modeled on the scientific method. The research and development, the interpretations of your natural phenomena that's led or that paved the way for the your social thinkers so as to interpret the social phenomena as like your science by applied all your scientific method after your Galileo after this your other your scientist and the people those came forward so as to uh, study your society scientifically, those were Herbert Spencer had introduced the notion of evolution prior to Darwin, and the French philosophers like Comte and described the evolution of society. But Darwin provided legitimate scientific proof for human biological evolution. This led to development of evolutionary theory of society, wherein not just organisms but societies were seen as constantly evolving or developing from a lower to a higher stage. They uh, they just put a theory as like your science, as you are growing or as you are getting into the development of your uh, science and technology in so as to interpret your social your natural phenomena, as like we can also have a stage by stage development so as to study the society. And in this uh, your study, Herbert Spencer's your contribution is highly commendable. His your theory on evolution, all this your scientific development, all your eco and your political development led to challenging of the old ideas and suggestions of alternatives. These alternatives, however, were only accepted if that could be proved and repeatedly verified. Else, new solutions were sought. Scientific methods therefore became regarded as an accurate and objective method so as to study the society. Some other factors then can be discussed for the emergence of sociology, that is your French Revolution. French Revolutions, uh, in fact, uh, the study of society or the applications of your scientific method so as to study your social phenomena that started in Europe after some of these factors only. And French Revolutions is one of them. The French Revolutions of 1789 marked a turning point in the history of human struggle for liberty, fraternity, and equality. It put an end to the age of feudalism and ushered in a new order of society. This your French Revolution that brought a great change in your European countries. So far, they are living, their your eco setup is concerned, their political setup is concerned. And important contributions of these revolutions was the far-reaching changes that it brought not only in French society but in societies throughout Europe. It had a great impact around the Europe. Even distant countries in other continents, such as your India, were influenced by the ideas generated during this revolution. Ideas like liberty, fraternity, and equality, which now form a part of the your preamble to the constitutions of India, owe their origin to the French Revolution. France, like other European countries during the 18th century, had entered the age of reason and rationalism. This year French revolutions that also paved the way so as to uh, start the era of reason. This is the your age of reason and rationalism. Major philosophers whose ideas influenced the French people were rationalists who believed that all true things could be proved by reason. Particularly, this particular thought had a great impact on your social thoughts of these and your philosophers that all true things could be proved by reason. ପ୍ରକୃତରେ ଆମେ ଯଦି ଦେଖିବେ ଆମେ ଆମର ଯଦି ଇଣ୍ଡିଆନ କଣ୍ଟେକ୍ସକୁ ଆମେ ଚିନ୍ତା କରିବେ, ଆମ ସାମାଜିକ ଜୀବନରେ ଅନେକ ଗୁଡେ ଆମେ କାମ କରୁଛେ, ଅନେକ ଗୁଡେ ପ୍ରଥା ପରମ୍ପରା ଦ୍ୱାରା ଆମେ ପରିଚାଳିତ ହଉଛେ, ଅନେକ ଗୁଡେ ସାମାଜିକ ଅନୁଷ୍ଠାନ ଦ୍ୱାରା ଆମେ ରେଗୁଲେଟେଡ ହଉଛେ, ନିୟନ୍ତ୍ରିତ ହଉଛେ, କିନ୍ତୁ ଆମେ କେବେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ୍ସ କରିନାହୁଁ ଯେ ହ୍ୱାଇ, ଯାହାକି ବହୁତ ଆଗରୁ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହେଇଥିଲା ୟୁରୋପରେ। ଦେ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟେଡ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନିଂ ହ୍ୱାଇ ଫର ଯୋଉଥିପାଇଁ କି ସେଠି ତାଙ୍କର ଇକୋସ୍ପିୟରରେ ପଲିଟିକାଲ ସ୍ପିୟରରେ ଏକ ଗ୍ରେଟ୍ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ଆସିଥିଲା ଆଫ୍ଟର ଦିସ୍ ୟର ଇଣ୍ଡଷ୍ଟ୍ରିଆଲାଇଜେସନ, ଆଫ୍ଟର ୟର ସାଇଣ୍ଟିଫିକ ୟର ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଆଫ୍ଟର ଦିସ୍ ୟର ଫ୍ରେଞ୍ଚ ରିଭଲ୍ୟୁସନ। So the ferment created by these ideas, along with the prevailing social conditions in the French society, led to the French revolutions, which marked an end of despotic monarchy. It changed the political structure of European society and replaced the age of feudalism by heralding the arrival of liberal democracy. The long series of political revolutions that were ushered in by the French revolutions in 1789 and carried over through the 19th century was the most immediate factor in the rise of sociological theorizing. The impact of these revolutions on many societies was enormous and led to many positive changes. These were French revolutions that brought some positive changes in the uh, thought process, and uh, that paved the way to overthrow all your existing socio eco political setup, then and controlled by your monarch and your all your evil practices and all your superstitious your activities. Those were going on the then period. These writers were particularly disturbed by the resulting chaos and disorder, especially in France, and wanted to restore order in the society. Some of the more extreme thinkers of this period literally wanted a return to the peaceful and relatively orderly days of the Middle Ages. The more rational thinkers recognized that social change had made such a return impossible. Thus, they sought instead to find new bases of order in societies that had been overturned by the political revolutions of the 18th and 19th century. କିନ୍ତୁ ଲୋକେ ସହଜରେ ଚେଞ୍ଜେସ୍ କୁ ଗ୍ରହଣ କରିପାରୁନଥିଲେ, ଯୋଉଥିପାଇଁ କି ଅନେକ ଗୁଡ଼ିଏ ଡିଷ୍ଟର୍ବାନ୍ସେସ୍ ଅନେକ କେଓ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହେଇଗଲା। ଏମିତି ବି ସମୟ ଆସିଲା ଯୋଉ ସମୟରେ ଦ ଥିଙ୍କର୍ସ ଦେ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟେଡ ସେଇଂ ନାଇଁ ଆମେ ପୁଣି ମିଡିଲ ଏଜେସ୍ କୁ ଆମେ ଫେରି ଚାଲିବା, କିନ୍ତୁ thinkers କହିଲେ ଯୋଉମାନେ they were leading this particular your changes, ସେମାନେ କହିଲେ no, it is not possible to go back, rather we are proceeding towards a what is that, developing your society. So these changes are inevitable and we have to cope up with this, so as to have a smooth socio eco and political sphere in the society. Another development of the late 18th and early 19th century, which also greatly shaped up the context for sociology to emerge, was the Industrial Revolution. ଯାହାକି ଆମେ just ଟିକେ ଆଗରୁ କଥାବାର୍ତ୍ତା କରୁଥିଲେ ଯେ this industrializations and industrial revolutions that had a great impact on your human mind and human thought process, ଯାହାକି ଅନେକ ଗୁଡ଼ିଏ established order କୁ overthrown କରିଥିଲା. The early sociologists were greatly disturbed by the changes taking place in the society with the concept of industrialization, which with its massive rural to urban migration changed patterns of living, hardened and exploitative class structure, all such themes which rose questions fundamental to the development of many sociological theories like Karl Marx critique to capitalism. So this industrial revolution that paved the way uh, to have a progressive society, a developing society based on science, based on your all your rational your thoughts and all that. So these industrial revolutions are impact the industrial revolutions was not a single event but refers to a set of interrelated developments that led to the transformations of the Western world from a regularly agrarian systems to an overwhelmingly industrial one. It began around 1760 AD in England and brought about great changes in the social and economic life of the people. Initially in England and later spread to the countries of Europe. In Europe, especially England, the discovery of new territories, explorations, growth of trade and commerce, and the consequent growth of towns brought about an increase in demand for goods. Within this system, a few profited greatly while the majority worked long hours and for a partly amount of money. Though this industrial revolution had a mixed result in the society, though it helped a lot so as to have a progressive thought, then so as to change uh, the based to change the your old your ideas and to bring the new ideas into force. But it had a negative impact so far your eco life of the people is concerned. When this industrial revolution started, the some people they uh, they get profit, their life changes quite positively to a broader extent, but some people they became poorer from poor. It is your economically, but so far socially is concerned, it had a positive impact on human mind. During industrial revolution, new tools and techniques were invented which could produce goods on a large scale. Spinning jenny, invented in 1767 by James, led to speeding up of your production activity. Arkwright in 1769 invented another tool called water frame, which was so large that it could not be kept in one's home, and special building was acquired to set it up. These are all your, you can say, scientific inventions and discoveries that led to the growth of your industry. And the growth of industry, your paved the way for your urbanizations, the migrations of the people from your rural agrarian economy to a developed your urban economy. And this shifting also brought some your changes so far their ideas, their thought, their beliefs are concerned. This led to a change in economy from a feudal to a capitalist system of production. Subsequently, a new class of capitalists emerged who controlled this new system of production. Due to this revolution, society moved from the old age of handmade goods to the new age of machine made goods. This shift heralded the emergence of industrial revolution. And if you see the impact of your industrial revolution, then it the changes concern both conservative and radical thinkers. The conservatives feared that such conditions would lead to chaos and disorder, while radicals like uh, Engels felt that the factory workers would initiate the working class revolutions, leading to a social transformation. So, these particular industrial revolutions brought a social transformations among the people with new ideas, new beliefs, and to interpret the social phenomena in a better way. Then we'll see the emergence of sociological theory, particularly the thoughts of the then philosophers, related to your uh, study of society, uh, how it can be studied scientifically, particularly the theories. As you saw in the beginning, at the time when sociology was shaping up as a subject, intellectual ferment was being witnessed in Europe in the form of enlightenment. This was a period of remarkable intellectual development and change in philosophical thought. Out of the consensus arrived at by the Enlightenment thinkers about the changes taking place in the society, the chief intellectual processes that led to the emergence of sociology were firstly the philosophy of history, that is, recognitions of the fact that society progress in stages, and that because of the presence of this pattern, laws to understand society who can be formulated in a scientific way. The the thinkers then they ସେ ସମୟରେ ମାନେ ବିଧିବଦ୍ଧ ଭାବେ they were quite your convinced that the society can be studied, the social phenomena can be studied uh, with the light of science, and it can be done by phases, and accordingly the some of the theories came to the light by different your philosophers. They were quite bit confident that on the lines of natural sciences, the social phenomena and the society can be interpreted. The emergence of the quantitative method of social survey as a method of sociological inquiry, social survey came to be recognized as a tool that could be used to understand the social problems prevailing in the society and thus find solutions for social reform. So, uh, ଆମେ as like natural sciences ତାଙ୍କ study ସେମାନେ କେମିତି apply କରୁଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କର method କୁ they are collecting samples, they are bringing all your samples to your laboratory, ଅନେକ ଗୁଡେ research କଲା ପରେ ଅନେକ ଗୁଡେ ସେଠି study କଲା ପରେ they are coming to a particular your conclusion, ଏକ ସିଦ୍ଧାନ୍ତରେ ସେମାନେ ପହଞ୍ଚୁଛନ୍ତି ଏବଂ ତାହା ନିଶ୍ଚିତ ଭାବେ ଏଇ ସିଦ୍ଧାନ୍ତଟା particular that conclusion ତାହା accepted ହେଉଛି world wide ଏବଂ that is rational one. As like social problems ମାନଙ୍କୁ ବା social life କୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ସେମିତିଆ scientific method ଦ୍ୱାରା study କରାଯାଇ ପାରିବ। ସେମାନେ କହିଲେ ଯେ that we can apply the tools like your social survey, ଯେମିତି କି ଆଜିକାଲି ମଧ୍ୟ ଆମେ ଅନେକ ଗୁଡ଼ିଏ tools use କରୁଛୁ like your questionnaire, then your what is that your by participatory observations, ଆମେ ଅନେକ ଗୁଡ଼ିଏ conclusion ରେ ଆସୁଛୁ ଏବଂ ତାକୁ ଆମେ ସିଦ୍ଧାନ୍ତରେ ପରିଣତ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରୁଛୁ, and by doing so we are getting rid of so many your social problem and social evils that you are encountering, that you are getting in our society, in our day-to-day activities. Now let's discuss on your anthropology. Anthropology, uh, एथिपाई एंथ्रोपोलॉजी को डिस्कस करबा जरूरी जे एंथ्रोपोलॉजी होचे नृविज्ञान एंथ्रोपोस जाके हमें एंथ्रोपोलॉजी एज ए सब्जेक्ट ଯାହାକି ତାର ଅନେକଟା ବିଭାଗ ଅଛି ଲାଇକ୍ ଫିଜିକାଲ ଏନ୍ଥ୍ରୋପୋଲୋଜି ସୋସିଆଲ ଏନ୍ଥ୍ରୋପୋଲୋଜି ତ ଏନ୍ଥ୍ରୋପୋଲୋଜି ଏବଂ ସୋସିଓଲୋଜି ଏହାକୁ ବିଭାଗୀକରଣ କରିବା ବା यार सब्जेक्ट को आमे तार बाउंड्री को डिमार्केट करबा ଟିକେ मुश्किल है जे सो before going through the your sociology what is sociology about I mean agro definitely you should have a little bit knowledge what is anthropology is all about anthropology ଏହା ହଉଛି ଏକ social science ଏହାକୁ ଆମେ ଯାହାକି ଆମେ ଓଡିଆରେ ଏହାର ଆମେ ଡିଫାଇନ୍ କରୁଛୁ ନୃବିଜ୍ଞାନ ବୋଲି ଏହା ଏକ ହୋଲିଷ୍ଟିକ ଆପ୍ରୋଚ ସୋ ଯାହାକି ଷ୍ଟଡି କରିଥାଏ ଇମର୍ଜେନ୍ସ ଅଫ ହ୍ୟୁମାନ୍ ବିଙ୍ଗ ଟୁ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିକି ଇଭଲ୍ୟୁସନାରୀ ପ୍ରୋସେସ କୁ ସେ ଷ୍ଟଡି କରେ ତା ସହିତ ସେ ମଣିଷ ମାନଙ୍କର କଲଚରାଲ ଆସ୍ପେକ୍ଟ କୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ଷ୍ଟଡି କରିଥାଏ ତ ଏହା ବୋଥ ଆମେ ଯଦି ଦେଖିବା ଫିଜିକାଲ ଏନ୍ଥ୍ରୋପୋଲୋଜି କୁ ଆମେ ପ୍ୟୁର ସାଇନ୍ସ ବୋଲି ମଧ୍ୟ ଆମେ କହିପାରିବେ ଯାହାକି ମଣିଷର ଇଭଲ୍ୟୁସନ ତାର ଟୋଟାଲ ଫିଜିକାଲ ଦିଗକୁ ସେ ଅଧ୍ୟୟନ କରିଥାଏ ତାର ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟ କେମିତି ହେଲା ତାର ତାଙ୍କର ଶାରୀରିକ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଚରରେ କେମିତି ପରିବର୍ତ୍ତନ ଆସିଲା ଏସବୁ ଗୁଡାକ ଫିଜିକାଲ ଏନ୍ଥ୍ରୋପୋଲୋଜି କରାଯାଏ ଏବଂ ସୋସିଆଲ ଏନ୍ଥ୍ରୋପୋଲୋଜିରେ ଦେ ୟୁଜ ଟୁ ଷ୍ଟଡି ଦ ସୋସିଆଲ ଆସ୍ପେକ୍ଟ ଅଫ ୟୁର ହ୍ୟୁମାନ୍ ବିଙ୍ଗ ଯାହାକି କଲଚର ପଏଣ୍ଟ ମଧ୍ୟ ଆସୋସିଏଟ ତେଣୁ ଯେହେତୁ ନୃବିଜ୍ଞାନ ମଧ୍ୟ ମଣିଷର ସାମାଜିକ ଦିଗକୁ ଅଧ୍ୟୟନ କରୁଛି ସୋ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ଦ ୱାନ୍ ଅଫ ଦ ସୋସିଆଲ ସାଇନ୍ସେସ୍ ଯାହାକି କ୍ଲୋଜଲି ଏହାକୁ ଆମେ କହିପାରିବେ ହ୍ୟାଜ୍ ଲିଙ୍କଡ ୱିଥ ୟୋର ସୋସିଓଲୋଜି यार तार स्कोप जो नेचर अच्छी यार स्कोप जो नेचर अच्छी तार जो विषय अच्छी तार जो स्पीयर अच्छी क्वाइट बिट योर लॉट ऑफ सिमिलरिटी विथ योर सोशियोलॉजी इमर्जेंस ऑफ सोशल एंथ्रोपोलॉजी सोशियोलॉजी रो ढेर आगरो एंथ्रोपोलॉजी रो आविर्भाव हो सारितला अभ्युदय हो सारितला इवन इंग्रेज माने तले हम भारत रे शासन करथले ताकर प्रॉपर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशंस पाए सेमाने जो हमरा विभिन्न रिमोट पार्ट्स को स्टडी करिया पाए प्रॉपर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशंस पाए they had engaged this your anthropologist so as to study the people the tribals the people staying in the your remote part of India proper administrations पाए ताकर कल्चर को बुझिया पाए ताकर वे ऑफ लाइफ को बुझिया पाए they had engaged your anthropologist in India बहुत एंथ्रोपोलॉजी बहुत परे जाई आसिला सोशियोलॉजी आमे रादर कहि परिबा जे दिस योर सोशल एंथ्रोपोलॉजी एज ए ब्रांच ऑफ सोशियोलॉजी कारण सोशल एंथ्रोपोलॉजी रे तार जो स्फीयर अछि तार जो विषय जो परिसर अछि इट इज क्वाइट बिट योर नैरोअर देन योर सोशियोलॉजी कारण सोशियोलॉजी टा एज ए होल एक मॉडर्न सेटअप मॉडर्न सोसाइटी रो सब कुछ दिग को अध्ययन करूची your in the your social anthropology rather it is your concentrated with your तार फोकस टा रहउची your primitive society एवं एक निर्दिष्ट एक तुमरा तार स्टडी रे जो अछि तार दिग जो अछि एक निर्दिष्ट लाइन को आसला पर तार बंद होउची देन वी आर फॉरवर्डिंग और प्रोग्रेसिंग टुवर्ड्स योर मॉडर्न सोसाइटी जाके सोशियोलॉजी रो अंतर्भुक्त अटे तो मु आपन को जस्ट के हिंट दे दूची व्हाट इज सोशल एंथ्रोपोलॉजी इज ऑल अबाउट The subject matter of anthropology and its academic professions began as an intersections of natural science and humanities. Social anthropology, being part of anthropology, its emergence has been historically linked with the development of the components of anthropology. The emergence of social anthropology has also been closely linked with other disciplines of the social sciences such as sociology, philosophy, ethnohistory, history, psychology, political science, and economics. But the closest discipline of social anthropology is sociology. In view of the highly differentiated subject matter of anthropology, it is rather difficult to comprehensively locate the trends of intellectual development and the emergence of the discipline. Like sociology, the emergence and development of anthropology is said to be directly linked to the scientific development in the Western world. In fact, the result of your what is that scientific development, the particularly the philosopher, the thinkers, or the scientists, they started their studying the human, your evolution, the progressive your existence of the people, and from here the anthropology started. If one considers the existence of the term anthropology many centuries ago, then anthropology is a very old subject. Anthropology is a word which the ancient Greeks had also used. To them, anthropologia occurs in your 1595. It means that the studying the human existence, their evolutions, there are different stages of evolutions that started from your old ages, from your, you can say, the year 1595 back kariba ता पूर्वରୁ ମଧ୍ୟ it started. In the 15th and 16th century, the Portuguese and the your Spaniards wrote chronicles of their conquest of parts of Africa and the New World. These are important anthropological source material. Besides which, the writings of travelers and others, and Rousseau's speculations concerning the noble savage indicate the change in the intellectual climate. The foundations of anthropology have also been dated back to the Greco-Roman Renaissance period, particularly beginning with the writings of Herodotus of with the writing of Herodotus. So এটা মানে গোটে যে আমি পাউଛୁ এই লিটারেচর রে that your studying your human evolution, studying your human society goes back to the ages, and it started from the your rather the writings of your Herodotus of your 15th and 16th century. And this development in the study of your uh, human, your evolution, that started page by page. The study, the first page of development that started in your 18th century. By 18th century AD, after the experience and influence of the Renaissance in Europe, there were many eminent philosophers who have made immense contributions to the understanding of society, including Rousseau. Then your Bacon, Baron, then your Montesquieu, John Locke, who dealt with the social phenomena of the time. These earlier works certainly led to the philosophical foundations for the development of the social sciences and the science of human society, including sociology and anthropology. The contributions of the earlier philosophers and scholars have certainly contributed to the emergence and development of anthropology, although they cannot be called anthropology per se. The development of anthropology and social science, which makes departure to the earlier philosophical and historical studies, came into two phases. The first phase, that is your 1725 to 1840, the first stage of your the study of anthropology. The philosopher scientists succeeded in separating the study of man, society, and civilizations from history, and thereby formulated a general social sciences. ଆମେ ଯଦି ଆମେ ଦେଖିବେ ଯେ ଆଗରୁ ଯୋଉ ଷ୍ଟଡିଜ ଗୁଡାକ ଥିଲା, that is the your studies based on your history particularly, and history as a descriptive your social science, ସେଥିରେ ସେତେଟା analytical ଏବଂ critical studies ଗୁଡାକ ସମ୍ଭବ ହୋଇନଥାଏ. ତେଣୁ in the first phase of your development, so for anthropology is concerned, they started applying all your scientific method so as to study the human evolution. They are your different stages of your development of human evolutions. Yeah, started after the applications of your scientific method by separating the study in the line of your history. There is a broad division of opinion between those who regard social anthropology as a natural science and those like myself who regards it as one of the humanities. So anthropology got started by 18th century, among then different your aspects were taken into considerations of human evolution. Physical anthropology, then they started your studying the social aspect of the human society, their culture part and all that. That is your you can say the social anthropology and all that. Let's see the emergence of your modern social anthropology. हमको एमती हमको एंथ्रोपोलॉजी जानवा बहुत जरूरी जे विदाउट नोइंग एंथ्रोपोलॉजी you cannot get properly what is sociology about. You know, first of all, this your anthropological studies, I can say that your studying human society started by the anthropologist first. Then the social aspect was what is it, separated. Social anthropology emerged, and a holistic approach was taken so as to study the society as a whole, and from then only uh, we got the sociology. The emergence of modern social anthropology emerged mainly with the contribution of Malinowski and A.R. Radcliffe Brown. These are the two-year anthropologists, those who have uh, great contributions uh, towards the emergence of your modern social anthropology. Then your Marshall Mauss is also generally considered as the pioneer of modern social anthropology in your France. Malinowski is one of the most your well-known social anthropologists. In fact, he is generally regarded as the founder of modern social anthropology. His main contributions to modern social anthropology was the introduction of ethnographic method with participant method and or technique, and founding of the theory of functionalism, departing from the earlier approaches. So while evolution, by applying your what is that the participatory method, the your ethnographic method to study the human society, the emergence of anthropology as a discipline can also be reckoned through the formations of your professional associations. The Aborigines Protection Society formed in 1837 was the first anthropological association to be established. The American Anthropological Association was established in 1902. So these are some of the associations that your emerged and established so as to study the human your society, to get insight into the your living, to get insight into the scientific investigations towards the human evolutions, the progressive your human living, their culture, their pattern of living, and all that. In terms of emergence, social anthropology is said to have emerged somewhat earlier than sociology, while the immediate factor for the emergence of sociology is attributed to the various factors, particularly the industrial, socio-political, and intellectual movements in Europe. The emergence of social anthropology can be mainly attributed to the, however, the difference between sociology and social anthropology, even from the early years of each, more or on the applications level and setting priority of studies rather than at the level of the scope, concept, and method. So you can say that your social anthropology and sociology as a subject, you can say that it has a close similarities so far their study, their your objectives, their method, techniques are concerned. But in the your later your units, you will discuss the difference between your the social anthropology and the sociology. ଆମର ଯୋଉ boundary ଅଛି କୋଉ ବିଷୟ କୋଉ ଦିଗ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ମଣିଷର କେତେ ଦୂର ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ସେମାନେ ଅଧ୍ୟୟନ କରୁଛନ୍ତି, ତାପରେ ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ମଡର୍ନ ସୋସାଇଟିକୁ ଆଉଛୁ ପ୍ରିମିଟିଭ ସୋସାଇଟିରୁ ଆମେ କେମିତି ସୋସିଆଲ ଲାଇଫକୁ ଇଣ୍ଟରପ୍ରିଟ କରୁଛୁ, that that is the your you can say the subject matter of your sociology. ଏଇଗୁଡ଼ା ଜିନିଷ ଗୁଡାକ ଆମେ ଏଇ ନେକ୍ସଟ ୟୁନିଟରେ ଆମେ ଡିସ୍କସ କରିବେ. So let's see that is your unit 2, that is a relationship of sociology with anthropology. ଆମେ ଯେହେତୁ ଏହା ଏକ କ୍ଲୋଜ ରିଲେଟେଡ ଟୁ ସବଜେକ୍ଟ, ତ ଆମର ଏକ କ୍ଲିୟର କଟ୍ ଏକ ଆଇଡିଆ ହେବା ଉଚିତ ଯେ ହ୍ୱାଟ ଇଜ ସୋସିଓଲୋଜି ଇଜ ଅଲ୍ ଆବାଉଟ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ହ୍ୱାଟ ଇଜ ଏନ୍ଥ୍ରୋପୋଲୋଜି ଇଜ ଅଲ୍ ଆବାଉଟ୍. କାରଣ ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ବିଷୟବସ୍ତୁ ତାଙ୍କର ଏକ ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦିଷ୍ଟ ଫୋକସ୍ ଅଫ ଷ୍ଟଡିଜ୍ ଥାଏ ଯେଉଁଥିରେ ସେମାନେ ଫୋକସ୍ କରିଥାନ୍ତି ଏବଂ କନସେନଟ୍ରେଟ୍ କରିଥାନ୍ତି. ତ we should not be confused regarding the subject and your sphere of studies in both of your subjects. sociology and your social anthropology are closely related in many aspects. Sometimes it is rather difficult to differentiate sociology from social anthropology in some areas of inquiry and methodology. ଆମେ ଯଦି ଦେଖିବା ଯେ your methodology those are adopted by your socio-anthropologist and your sociology are somehow you can say the same. Like ଯେମିତି କି ଆମେ study କରୁଛୁ, suppose we are conducting your field works in sociology, so you are applying so many your techniques. You are like your what is that your questionnaire or we are through interviews or participatory observations available way in sociology. So all these your particular these techniques or the methods are also applied by your social anthropologists also while they are studying your primitive societies, whether they are focusing on your the cultures of the different your communities. So prayatah so far your techniques are concerned, so far their methods are concerned, those are quite bit similar with your sociology. There are also certain differences that can also be observed between two subjects in terms of the areas and threads of inquiry, methodology, practice and traditions. किंतु आमे कहि परिबे ने जे as a whole that these particular two subjects are all equal. So far they are your scope, their nature, they are your studies sphere are concerned. Rather they have also some your what is the differences. So far their threads of inquiry, methodology, practice and traditions are concerned. Such differences, although minor in essence, also becomes a matter of differentiation with the development of varying academic disciplines and departments in the university systems. John Bette rightly points out that sociology is social anthropology's closest your companion discipline. आमे social anthropology এবং sociology agaru before the establishment of your sociology as a your individual your subject agaru this particular जो subject को बर्तमान में deal करूछु बा जो area को हमें हमर thrust area बोले हमें कहूछु sociology तार all those were covered by your social anthropology. Okay, परवर्ती समय रे the necessities so as to study the modern society, the complexities related to your modern way of living, हमर जो social changes गुडा को होउची जो changes होउची social institutions गुडा करे हमर day to day जो necessities आसिला so as to एक better एक progressive society पाई सेटा को पढ़िया पाई हमको जरूरी पड़ले एक अदर एक ब्रांचेस आनिया पाई जोथरे sociology emerge करा नाले अगरो all the your spheres those were your party that you can say that you are carried out by this your social anthropology department. These two subjects share a great many of their theoretical problems and interest. Social anthropologists are sociologists as well, but they are at once something less because their actual field of investigations has on the whole been more restricted and something more because although they are concerned with social relationship, they are concerned with other aspects of culture as well. Therefore, necessary to go through the historical as well as the contemporary development of the two subjects to understand its relationship. So, यदि आमे देखिबे जे को सब्जेक्ट केते दूर पर्यंत स्टडी करूची ह्यूमन सोसाइटी आमे सेही पर्टिकुलर आमे लाइन को आमे देखिबा एवं जानिबा बहुत जरूरी. Sociology is the youngest of the social sciences. आगु आमे डिस्कस करथिले जे हमरा अर्थनैतिक आवश्यकता एक सामग्रिक विकास एवं श्रृंखला पॉलिटिकली आमे अवेयर हेले पॉलिटिकल इश्यूज रो सेटअप हैला हमरा आनुष्ठानिक भाबे हमरा अर्थनैतिक आवश्यकता जो अर्थनैतिक आवश्यकता जो अनेक गुडे अनुष्ठान रो डेवलपमेंट हैला तो आमे कहबा को गले जे अर्थनैतिक अनुष्ठान गुडी का एवं राजनीतिक अनुष्ठान गुडी का बा हमरा पॉलिटिकल अवेयरनेस बा इको अवेयरनेस हमरा सोशल अवेयरनेस तो बहुत ढेर आगरे से माने हई साइतला जोति में कि पॉलिटिकल साइंस जे सब्जेक्ट बा इकोनॉमिक्स जे सब्जेक्ट माने आगरो एस्टैब्लिश होई साइतले किंतु परवर्ती समय रे आमे अनुभव कले जे दैट इट इज नेसेसरी सो एज टू अंडरस्टैंड द सोशल लाइफ इन ए बेटर वे जोति में कि सोशल जे सब्जेक्ट इमर्ज करतला तेनु ए एक सोशल साइंसेस रे एक पार्ट हिसाब रे sociology is the youngest one. It is also one of the fastest growing academic discipline. And sociology is the fastest growing your academic disciplines right now. We are moving towards a progressive societies. অনেক গুড়ে social changes, অনেক গুড়ে changes আমরা আউছি। ଆମେ ସେଇ changes ଅନୁସାରେ ଆମେ ନିଜକୁ ନିଜେ cope up କରିବାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରୁଛୁ। ଆମର eco structure, social structure, the functions of your different institutions ଯାହାକି according to the changes ଆମର change ହଉଛି। तो से सब को स्टडी करवा बहुत जरूरी, जोति ପାଇଁ कि यह एक ग्रोइंग एकेडमिक डिसिप्लिन हिसाब से इमर्ज करिछि हमर डे टू डे स्टडीज रे। The word sociology is derived from the Latin word socius, which means you can say the companion or associate, and the Greek word logos means knowledge. It means that the sociology was coined by Auguste Comte in year 1838-39. Sociology is a scientific study of human society which tries to explain the context of social phenomena. A unit आपण माने टिके बेसी बेटर आपण मन अंडरस्टैंडिंग रहइबो what is sociology is all about.
Hello,
Hello
sir. Sorry to intervene in between. I'm very sorry.
sir.
लेकिन ये चैप्टर 2 है ना, तो मैं जैसे रिक्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ, इतना जल्दी हम लोग कवर अप कर देंगे विद ऑल द हेडलाइंस एंड एवरीथिंग लाइक दैट, तो समझने में थोड़ा दिक्कत आ जाएगी। सो इफ यू कैन प्लीज गो स्टेप बाय स्टेप वन आफ्टर अनदर। आप क्या बोलते हैं? अगर आपका पास कुछ लिमिटेशंस है दैट आई डोंट नो।
No, I don't have any limitations. Rather, I am going step by step. First of all, this is your what is that, the 18th and 19th century European society. Then Dark Age, then Enlightenment.
No, sir. I didn't want to ask about the stage by stage on the topics. I want एक टॉपिक, एक सोशियोलॉजी का फर्स्ट चैप्टर हो गया ना अभी, तो व्हाट आई मीन टू से इज अगर अपन लोग फिर 1-1.5 घंटा हो जाने के बाद थोड़ा ब्रेक दे देते हैं, क्योंकि it becomes a lot of pressure कि
right.
चीज
Listen sir, the thing is that in this 2 hours we are going to cover 2 units only.
The class will be of 2 hours.
In this 2 hours we are supposed to cover 2 units. As आप लोगों को ये आपका कह सकते हैं कि it is the your first interpretations of sociology is all about, जो कि आप लोगों को समझ में थोड़ा आसानी होगा। और इस चैप्टर में
सर कांट, हाँ, I'm again intervening in between. That is, अगर 1 घंटे का सोशियोलॉजी, 1 घंटे का पॉलिटिकल साइंस ऐसे होने से ना, that would have been वही सुबह से अगस्टे कॉम्टे और गैलीलियो और फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन करते हुए 2 घंटा। अब I don't know about others, मेरे को दूसरों के बारे में पता नहीं, बट ब्रेन और ले नहीं पा रहा, वो एक ही चीज कर करके 2 hours। 1 घंटे का एक क्लास करने से that would have been better, right sir?
No. I don't know what are the actually the Congress sir can explain you what are the schedules right, particularly so far, लेकिन हम लोगों को 2 यूनिट्स दिया गया है सोशियोलॉजी का, जो फंडामेंटल्स चीजें समझाने के लिए आपको यूनिट 1 एंड यूनिट 2 में। तो अभी जैसे इनफैक्ट ये तो आपको मुश्किल थोड़ा हो रहा होगा 2 घंटा ये सारी चीजों को एज ए होल अचानक आपको सब कुछ अगर आपका दिमाग में अगर दे दिया जाएगा तो इट इज क्वाइट बिट बोरिंग एंड ऑल दैट डेफिनेटली। लेकिन समझने के लिए आप थोड़ा पेशेंस रखिए कि नहीं, वी हैव टू गो थ्रू ऑल दिस योर बेसिक थिंग्स रिलेटेड टू योर सोशियोलॉजी सर। तो आई होप
क्योंकि आप भी इतना पढ़ा रहे हैं, आई थैंक यू फॉर दैट आल्सो।
बट क्या हुआ सर कि ये लिमिटेड 2 आवर्स में सर, लिमिटेड 2 आवर्स में वी हैव टू कवर ऑल दिस थिंग्स। हाँ, लेकिन हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि आप लोगों को थोड़ा बहुत कंसेप्चुअली आपको थोड़ा क्लैरिटी मिले कि व्हाट इज सोशियोलॉजी अबाउट, इसमें एंथ्रोपोलॉजी क्या चीज है, हम सोशियोलॉजी क्यों पढ़ेंगे, सोशियोलॉजी में क्या चीज है। तो ये सारी चीजें आपको थोड़ा बताने के लिए हमको एकदम नटसेल में बहुत सारी चीजें को बोलना पड़ता है, इसलिए थोड़ा स्टूडेंट्स लोगों को थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है।
बीच बीच में थोड़ा सा ब्रेक दे देने से ना थोड़ा सा अच्छा लगे, क्योंकि इट्स नॉट ओनली मी, I can see 2 or 3 participants also responding to the same thing. Okay ना सर, प्लीज इसके ऊपर थोड़ा सा एक बार बात कर लीजिएगा आपके मैनेजमेंट से। डेफिनेटली 1 घंटे का 2 क्लासेस हो सकता है तो क्योंकि
सर
एक ही
एक्चुअली
सब्जेक्ट के ऊपर 2 घंटा क्लासेस मिलेगा, इट्स लाइक रॉकेट साइंस, हम लोग जस्ट पेस्ट ऑफ बनाते
राइट
हैं
राइट
वैसे
राइट
चल चीज हो
राइट
जाती है।
राइट
ठीक
राइट
है
सर, राइट
ओके
सर।
सर, थैंक यू
सर
सो
सर
मच।
आई होप के
यस सर।
अगली बार भी जो जितने ऑफ कोर्स हम लोगों को दो दो यूनिट्स दिया गया हुआ है।
राइट
एक्चुअली
सर।
क्या होता है कि जो बच्चे आप लोग जो अभी हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हो सर, तो एक्चुअली मुझे लगता है कि यू आर क्वाइट न्यू टू योर सोशियोलॉजी। तो आप लोगों को सोशियोलॉजी क्या है समझाने के लिए बहुत
Sir,
सारे जो
I am
इसका
new to I am new to education. After 20 years, I'm starting education afresh. Okay, so 2 घंटा एक साथ ठीक है। I'll try to cope up, क्योंकि what I wanted to tell you कि अगर आप मैनेजमेंट से बात करके देख सकते हैं, 2 यूनिट ठीक है। सोचो कल 2 हिस्ट्री का यूनिट होगा और या पॉलिटिकल साइंस का यूनिट होगा, एक एक घंटा का 2 क्लासेस हो सकता है कि नहीं,
तो
ये थोड़ा
ओके
देखिए।
सर, ओके सर, आई विल
थैंक यू।
स्पीक टू योर डॉक्टर पाणिग्राही एंड
राइट सर,
अभी थोड़ा अभी
प्लीज
मैं
कंटिन्यू सर,
एक इम्पोर्टेंट
प्लीज
एक एक्सपेक्ट को मैं कवर कर रहा हूँ। आई होप कि
प्लीज
आप लोगों
प्लीज।
को ये यूनिट में आपको अच्छी तरह आपको थोड़ा पता चल जाएगा व्हाट इज सोशियोलॉजी ऑल अबाउट, सो दैट
प्लीज
आपको थोड़ा
कंटिन्यू।
इंटरेस्टिंग लगेगा थोड़ा। सो
ओके
लेट्स
सर, ओके।
सी सर। So sociology is the youngest social science that emerged after your 18th and 19th century, your scientific, your what is that development, the industrial revolution, French Revolution, and industrial development, all that. So the term sociology was coined by Auguste Comte in your 1838-39. Sociology is a scientific study of human society which tries to explain the context of social phenomena. Uh, One thing that I want to make you know, what is that your scientific study? आगरो साइंटिफिक स्टडी नथिला क्या? आगरो साइंटिफिक इंटरप्रिटेशन नथिला क्या? पहले नहीं था क्या? नहीं, कुछ नहीं था। In fact, if you see the dark ages of in your Europe, or you can say the 18th and 19th century era of your India, or before of that particular ages, there was nothing like science. All our social life, all our your activities, all your beliefs, all the your functions, the institutions, social institutions, those were regulated by your unseen forces, your sayings, and the people, those who were acting like your middlemen, they were controlling all your social activities, your social institutions, social behavior, everything attached to your socio-eco and political your era, all your controlled by your middlemen and your unseen forces. And after 18th and 19th century only, the scientific your thoughts or scientific investigations started, and the people started questioning why we should do this, why we should obey this, why we should go through the your saying of the people, why we are obliged to the priest and all that. So different your questions started saying or questioning why, and the regional or rational thought process started in the year 18th and 19th century, and from then and from that era, this your term sociology your was coined by Auguste Comte so as to study the society scientifically and interpreting social phenomena by applying all your scientific method, and it had a great impact towards your progressive society. In fact, ଯଦି ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା ଯେ ଯଦି social life ଯଦି scientifically based न ହେଲା, then it has a particularly your negative impact towards your eco life, towards your political life. ଯାହାକି ଆମେ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆରେ in India particularly we are experiencing all that. ଆମେ ଯଦି politically ଆମେ ଯଦି backfoot ରେ ଅଛୁ, ଆମେ ଯଦି economically ଆମେ ଯଦି backfoot ରେ ଅଛୁ, that is only due to the you can say ଆମେ ଏମିତି ଏକ society ରେ ବଞ୍ଚୁଛୁ that is not progressive rather, ଏବଂ ତାହା ପୁଣି scientifically based ଆମର belief ଏବଂ ଆମର practices ବା ଆମର thought process ଯୋଗୁଁ ହିଁ ସେୟା ହଉଛି। ଆମେ ଇକୋନୋମିକ ଗୋଟେ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ଟେ ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଦିଏ ଯେ ସପୋଜ Max Weber, he has written a book that is called your what is that Protestant ethics and spirit of capitalism. ଯଦି ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା all your developed countries particularly ଯେତିକି developed country ଅଛନ୍ତି ସେଠିକା religion କ'ଣ, that is your Christianity, ଏବଂ ଯେତେଟା ଆମର ଯୋଉ third world countries ଅଛନ୍ତି ବା developing countries ଅଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କର ଆମେ religion କୁ ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା। ଆଚ୍ଛା, ରିଲିଜିୟନ କ'ଣ, ରିଲିଜିୟନ କଥା କ'ଣ ପାଇଁ ଉଠୁଛି? ଦ୍ୟାଟ ରିଲିଜିୟନ ଅନେକ ମାତ୍ରାରେ ଆମର ସୋସିଆଲ ବିହେଭିୟର କୁ, ଆମର ସୋସିଆଲ ଥଟ୍ ପ୍ରୋସେସ କୁ ତାହା ରେଗୁଲେଟ କରୁଛି। we are guided by some ethics. ଆମେ so far Hinduism is concerned, we are guided by your Bhagavad Gita. In your Islamism they are guided by your Quran.
in your Christianity they are guided by Bible. So there are some ethics associated with your religion. The question ଉଠୁଛି ଯେ the Christian community their ethics ବା ସେମାନେ କେମିତିଆ ଗାଇଡେଡ୍ ହଉଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ତାଙ୍କ ସୋସାଇଟିରେ they are ତାଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ କ୍ୟାପିଟାଲିଷ୍ଟିକ ତାଙ୍କର ଇକୋନୋମି ଅଛି, କ୍ୟାପିଟାଲିଷ୍ଟିକ ଥଟ୍ ବୃଦ୍ଧି ପାଉଛି ଏବଂ ସେମାନେ they are growing more and more so far economically our economy is concerned. they are fastest growing economy, capitalistic economy ସେଠି ତାଙ୍କର ଇଏ ହଉଛି and guided by their ethics ଯାହାକି spirit of capitalism को ଇଏ କରୁଛି। କିନ୍ତୁ so far your third world countries India को ଆମେ ଯଦି ଦେଖିବା we are guided by ଏମିତି ଏକ ethics guided ହଉଛୁ ଯାହାକି ହୁଏତ ଆମ ଭିତରେ ଏକ spirit of capitalism को ତାହା ସହାୟକ ହେଉନାହିଁ। For example ଗୋଟେ ଚିନ୍ତା କରାଯାଉ ଯେ ଆମର ଯୋଉ belief and practices ଅଛି religious belief and practices ଏହା कितना ethics ଯେମିତି ଅଛି ଯେମିତି कि इंडियन माने बिलीव करते जे क्या लेके आए थे क्या लेके जाओगे, हाँ जो भी मिला सेटिस्फाई आमे हेजिबा उचित, जहाँ मिल सेतिरे सेटिस्फाई हबा आमे आगु आमे लोभ करिवे नाही। we should not compete with your near and dear. Okay, then in term of different your religious your practices, you are spending a lot during Durga Puja, Ganesh Puja, entire year, entire days are your, they are dedicated to the different god and goddesses all around the year. So अनेक गुड़े आम रिलीजियस बिलीफ एवं प्रैक्टिसेस बा आमर गाइडलाइन बा अनेक गुड़े एथिक्स जहाँकि आम भितर स्पिरिट ऑफ कैपिटलिज्म को आम भितर सृष्टि करि पारु नाही, जोथि कि आम इकोनॉमिकली आम बैकफुट रे अछि। सेति आमको साइंटिफिकली इंटरप्रेट करि पारु पड़िबो ए फैक्टर्स गुडा को जहाँकि आमको एज एन ऑब्स्टेकल्स आउछि आम पथरे दैट वी आर नॉट ग्रोइंग और वी आर नॉट ग्रोइंग इकोनॉमिकली और एक कैपिटलिस्टिक एक थॉट आसु नहीं, कैपिटलिस्टिक आम इकोनॉमी बिल्ड अप करि पारु ना। सो एक प्रोग्रेसिव सोसाइटी पई एक साइंटिफिक इन्वेस्टिगेशन सोशली हमको साइंटिफिक इंटरप्रिटेशंस करबा बहुत जरूरी, सो दैट आमे इकोनॉमिकली politically एक प्रोग्रेसिव नेशंस होई पारे। So it is very much necessary that a thorough scientific investigations of the society is needed so as to bring some changes in your social setup, eco setup, in our thought process, in our belief and practices, in your day-to-day activities, so that ame ek progressive society established kari paribe. And that is the main reason behind this your particular your emergence of the subject that is called sociology. In your Vartaman, as being your youngest social science, in your student among the student community, sociology is not being understood very clearly. Just taken for granted, it is the study of society only. Not like that. Unless and until we are not good at sociology, it is too difficult to interpret all other your social sciences like your economics, political science, and your other aspects of your social life. Again, if you are not good at your sociology, without knowing the people, without knowing your social life, without interpreting the social phenomena, we cannot also develop in other your spheres in science also. So this is your root from where we are developing or we are growing. So knowing the society or interpreting the society is a must for everyone. So sociology is a must for everyone. So I'm just making you clear again regarding sociology. Sociology is a scientific study of human society which tries to explain the context of social phenomena. It emphasizes on the collective aspect of human behavior. It is the study of collective your human behavior in the society. Interwoven human relationship achi. By interactions, by communications, we are building relationship. By building relationship, we are we are cooperating. Different conflicts are there, and by through your conflict and cooperations within a territory, we are satisfying, we are approaching and you are, we can say that you are fulfilling some of your basic needs. So this is the science, or the social science, which emphasizes the collective aspect of your human behavior. The broad nature of the subject has resulted to overlap with many other social sciences disciplines such as anthropology, political science, economics, psychology, geography, education, law and philosophy. ଆମେ ଯଦି ଦେଖିବା ଯେ the subject of sociology, समाज विज्ञान ବା समाज शास्त्र मनुष्यକୁ ଏକ ସାମାଜିକ ଜୀବ ରୂପେ ଅଧ୍ୟୟନ କରେ. It means that the sociology ଗୋଟେ ଗୋଟେ ମଣିଷର ତା total activities କୁ study କରୁଛି. Total activities meaning that political activities, your eco activities, your other your activities related to your religious aspect, you can say the law part also, every sort of things. So sociology रे जेहेतु आमे मनुष्यर सामग्रिक जीवन को अध्ययन करूछु, तार सब ये करूछु, तो यह बेले बेले लागे ओवरलैपिंग लागे पॉलिटिकल साइंस सहित, इकोनॉमिक्स सहित, लॉ सहित, एजुकेशन सहित, कारण we are covering all aspect of your human life in sociology. So if you in sociology, definitely we'll get all your some of the your glimpse of your all subjects. Like political science to किछटा aspects पाइबे, किछटा हमें insights पाइबे, economic life जेतु study करछु, laws and all that. Let's come to your anthropology. Anthropology derived from your Greek words anthropos meaning man and logos means studies. It means in anthropology we are also studying the your man scientifically. The only subject that surpasses the scope of sociology in the study of human society with its branches encompassing social cultural anthropology, physical anthropology, archaeological anthropology. And these are some of your branches of your anthropology. And anthropology, that is the study of your human being, यार से तार evolutions को study करे, तारा culture part को मध्य अध्ययन करे. तो anthropology टिके तारा archaeological part को मध्य अध्ययन करे. एवं जेतरे से social part को आउची, तारा अनेक गुड़े similarity आसी जाउची sociology सहित. If you see the your social anthropology part, that is quite bit most similar with your sociology part. The particularly the subject matter, those are covered with your social anthropology, quite bit your you can say the similar to your sociology. According to Webster dictionary, the word anthropology dates back to the late 16th century. The word anthropology is said to have appeared for the first time in the year 1805. Go back to your ages, that is your 1805, we get this your anthropology. And already I have told you earlier that this particular your subject emerged much more your dates that if you compare with your sociology. Social or the cultural anthropology has been historically very close to sociology from their beginning, as they both study human society. Although anthropology has been regarded as the study of pre-literate societies or the primitive society, and sociology as dealing with the more contemporary urban and developed societies. एठी आमे टिके हमरा आसीबो हमरा understanding that anthropology used to study the society that is primitive, the emergence of your human evolutions, their progressive stages of the your primitive your existence of the people. तापरे आमे जे लगे आमे modern society होउछु, modern society different social changes, modern your social problems, modern your what is that your industrial growth, the impact of your industrializations, the problems related to your industrializations, then your rapid your changing institutional functions and all that. आमे आसी जाउछु sociology. तो आमे जे देखिबा जे बुझिबा पय जे चेष्टा करिबा जे the subject matter of your anthropology and your sociology, then we can say that social anthropology particularly, it's your subject deals with the people of your primitive society, and in your sociology we are covering all aspects related to your modern society, or you can say the your developed society, or you can say the urban society. This is the your particular, but it is, you can say this particular your differentiation or the understanding is rather, but you can say it is narrower one. You cannot say that this is the your exact your different your way of interpreting your social anthropology and sociology. this distinction is no longer true. The earlier trend in anthropology being associated with your micro studies, particularly exotic village studies, and sociology being identified with your macro studies, particularly the modern society, is no longer true in the contemporary times. Kintu ebe taha ebe nai. Rather, the social anthropologists, they are also covering the urban part, the urban living, the modern society. The sociologists also, through their your different field works, they are also your investigating. They are also interpreting the your social life of your primitive societies. You know, they are also going to the your investigating the nomads life, the the societies of your primitive ages and all that. So you cannot demarcate the sphere of studies between your social anthropology and your sociology. It is no longer true. In the same way, the study of the rural communities, once identified mainly with anthropologists, and the study of the urban communities, mainly identified with sociologists, in the initial stage of the development of the disciplines, has also become blurred. Today, a trend has set in where sociologists have carried out much studies on rural communities, village and micro settings, while anthropologists have also ventured on the urban settings and pure macro studies. So you cannot your demarcate, or you cannot create a line so far your social anthropologists, your studies, their area of concern, and your sociology. There are ample examples of this your emerging trend, which is most obvious in the studies carried out by both sociologists and anthropologists in the developing countries. Hence, there has been much overlapping in the areas of inquiry and interest between sociologists and anthropologists, particularly social anthropology and your cultural anthropology. Overlapping ହେଇଯାଉଛି so far your area of studies is concerned, because both of your disciplines, they are interpreting, they are trying to investigate, they are trying to study your human society and your society as a whole. Sociology, as a scientific study of society, has a relatively short history of development. It emerged only in the year 19th century as an academic discipline. You know, sociology as a your separate your subject, your that started in your 19th century already. Your I have told you that your August Comte, uh, he first mentioned this particular point, this word, in his your book Positive Philosophy, and uh, this your subject sociology, that your traced back to your 19th century so far the emergence is concerned. The study of society, although not specific to sociology, was for long of interest to the Greek philosopher such as your Socrates as early as your 5th century BC, Plato and Aristotle in the year 4th century BC. So you can say that your study of society uh, was you can trace back to your in the era of your, you can say Aristotle, your you can say the your in the era of your you can say the Roman philosopher also in the 4th century and your 5th century BC, who made immense contribution to the understanding of society in their times. But systematic studies particularly started in your 19th century only, uh, after the your great contributions by socialists like your Spencer, then your Auguste Comte, Emile Durkheim, Weber, and Marx. They attempted a systematic study of human society after 19th century, and particularly on the general constitutions of society, philosophy, politics, law, and the state. By the 16th century, the works of your Thomas Hobbes, Machiavelli on society and state have been impactful to the understanding of the concept of society and the states. By 18th century AD, after the experience uh, and influence of the Renaissance in Europe, there were many eminent philosophers who made immense contributions to the understanding of society. You know, यूरोप नवजागरण परे परे डार्क एजेस परिसमाप्ति परे परे इनफैक्ट there were many social thinkers, the philosophers who contributed a lot to study the society in a systematic way in Europe. The applications of positivism to the study of human society transformed the conceptualizations of society from a divine or God-given condition to one that could be viewed as a product of human agency. So, ଆମେ ଆଗରୁ discuss କରି ସାରିଥିଲେ ଯେ the act, the divine rule or the activities all were controlled by the your divine your saying, divine norms and all that, the church that control all the your activities, all those were questioned in this era of uh, your in the age of your 18th and 19th century after the your dark ages in Europe. This made the objectification of society possible and also introduced the notion of social transformations through human effort and action. The most significant factors for the emergence of sociology is, however, attributed to the various intellectual and socio-political changes taking place in the 18th and 19th century in Europe. ଆମେ ୟାକୁ already discuss କରି ଚାଲିଛୁ ଯେ so many changes that took place in the 18th and 19th century uh, became some of the major factors, significant factors for the emergence of sociology in Europe. Some of the important influences include the French revolutions and the industrial revolutions already have discussed in Europe. Although Claude Henry Saint-Simon used the idea of the science of society, it was Auguste Comte, the French philosopher, who is generally credited for laying the foundations of the emergence of sociology. In Europe, there were your different your other philosophers also who put the your we can say the foundation stone for the emergence of your social interpretations of the your society, investigations of the society, uh, keeping in view the scientific by applying scientific method. But it was Auguste Comte who coined this word in 1838-39, and he started your and put forth some of the your what it methods and technology to study the social phenomena scientifically. The term sociology is coined in 1838-39 by Auguste Comte in his book Positive Philosophy. He considers sociology as a science based on systematic observation and classifications of the social phenomena. This is your definitions by your Auguste Comte that sociology is a science based on systematic observation and classification of the social phenomena. Another your sociologist, that is your Herbert Spencer, an English social philosopher, is one of the pioneers who laid the foundation of sociology. His book, Principles of Sociology, based on organic analogy of human society, was an important contribution of those times. Great contributors, by your Herbert Spencer, with your analogy, your evolution of society, organic evolutions, they prove that your society functions as like your organism. It's your evolutions, it's your decay and all that, your branches, everything. Herbert Spencer's book, Principles of Sociology, based on organic analogy of human society, was an important contribution of those times. In America, social philosophers, that is your F. Ward, made a significant contribution to the development of sociology through his book, Dynamic Sociology. So these are some of the you can say the great philosophers, the sociologists who contributed a lot for the emergence of sociology. That is apart from you can say Auguste Comte, your Herbert Spencer, another your great sociologist is your Emile Durkheim, then your Max Weber, one of the pioneer of sociology, introduced a new kind of approach to the understanding of social phenomena. His well-known works include the Protestant Ethics and the Spirit of Capitalism, discuss and Economy and Society. Then your Emile Durkheim, his great contributions in his works like your Rules of Sociological Method and your Suicide. Then your DH also contributed a lot towards the study of religion. Emile Durkheim, Suicide, Religion. Then this is you can say the sociological method to be applied so as to study the sociology. Karl Marx also made significant contributions to the development of sociology, although his contributions go much beyond sociology itself. His most popular work related to sociology is Das Kapital. These are the great sociologists, or you can say the social thinkers, you can say the philosophers who contributed a lot towards the emergence, development of sociology. Now, let's say a little bit emergence and history of social anthropology again. कारण आमको सब बेले गोटे कन्फ्यूजन आसे what is the subject your matter of your social anthropology, what is the your subjects you're covered by your sociology, what are the basic differences between your sociology and social anthropology, that we should know. Let's see a little bit regarding your social anthropology. Anthropology is a diverse and comprehensive field that studies humans and their culture, society. But you should know this is your subject that your covers studies your humans and their culture, society. In fact, it is considered as the broadest discipline that deals with the study of humankind and its multiple aspects. The subject matter of anthropology, you should listen, students, the subject matter of anthropology and its academic professions began as an intersection of natural science and humanities. This trend is largely followed even today. The main reason behind this position is that the subject has been considered as a holistic study of mankind. Anthropology, some of the parts, if you see, हमको एमती लागिबो कि it is a pure natural science. ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ physical anthropology को आସୁଛି, ମଣିଷର ତାର evolutions को ଆମେ ଦେଖୁଛୁ, ତାର ଶାରୀରିକ ଗଠନ ସେ study କରୁଛୁ, ଯାକି ଆମେ natural science ସହିତ ସମାନ, ତାର ମୁଣ୍ଡର shape, ତାର ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଅଙ୍ଗ ପ୍ରତ୍ୟଙ୍ଗ, ତାର ହାଡ ମାନଙ୍କର ତାଙ୍କର ଗ୍ରୋଥ କେମିତି ଆଉଛି ବିଭିନ୍ନ stages ରେ, ଆମେ ଏଇ ପାଠ ଯଦି ଆମେ ଦେଖୁଛୁ ଆମକୁ ଲାଗୁଛି ଯେ ନାଇଁ it is your covering the your physical science part. So yeah, a holistic approach towards studying your human evolutions and the study of mankind. It also emerged with the understanding that the human as a species are evolved and follow the same natural laws as all other natural species and phenomena. In view of the highly differentiated subject matter of the anthropology, it is rather difficult to comprehensively locate the strands of intellectual development and the emergence of the discipline. Nevertheless, the hallmark of the trends of the beginning and growth of the subject can be broadly situated. The historical delineations can be focused on sociocultural anthropology, as it is the closest branch of anthropology with sociology. So, like sociology, the emergence and development of anthropology is said to be directly linked to the scientific development in the Western world. In fact, the scientific development in the Western world that paved the way for the beginning of these two subjects, first anthropology, then your sociology. The foundations of anthropology has also been dated back to your Greco-Roman Renaissance period, particularly beginning with the writings of your Herodotus in the year 5th century BC. By 18th century AD, after the experience and influence of the Renaissance in your Europe, there were many eminent philosophers who have made immense contributions to the understanding of society, including Rousseau, Vico, Béran, and your Montesquieu, John Locke, who dealt with your social phenomena of the time. These earlier works certainly laid the philosophical foundations for the development of the social sciences and the science of human society, including anthropology. The development of anthropology and social science, which makes departure to the earlier philosophical and historical studies, came in two phases. Let's see the two phases, how it started. The first phase, that is your 1725 to 1840, philosopher scientists succeeded in separating the study of man, society, and civilizations from history first, and thereby formulated a general social science. They first separated these your studies from history. Aguru amar kona thila? So whatever we are getting all the informations, the data from history only, which was descriptive one, which was not tested scientifically, which started only when that particular your subjects were separated from history, and that brought into your one in the your subject matter of your anthropology, so as to interpret that by applying all your scientific method. Then you will see the study of your anthropology, the emergence. There is a broad division of opinion between those who regard social anthropology as a natural science and those like myself. Jaki, this is your particular statement by your, you can say, the events your picture. So it is quite difficult whether your anthropology is a social science or whether it is a natural science. When it studies the physical part, you can say it is the part of your natural science. When it is coming to your cultural part, the culture society, the primitive society they are living in, all that, then archaeological part, then it's coming to your social science part. So it is your mixing both your natural science and your social science, the mix of studies in the under one umbrella, that is your anthropology. Now we'll see some of the your similarities between your social anthropology and sociology, which your sphere they are covering both this your social anthropology and sociology. Sociology is very close to social or cultural anthropology. The relationship between the two is so close that in the contemporary times the difference has become very bleak. There are many eminent anthropologists who have opined their close relationship between sociology and anthropology, particularly socio-cultural anthropology. For instance, Fraser is perhaps the first anthropologist who, in his your inaugural lecture, is the first professor of social anthropology in 1908, defined social anthropology as that branch of sociology that deals with your primitive societies. Even ଏମିତି ବି କୁହାଗଲା ଯେ ନାଇଁ social anthropology ହେଉଛି your part of your sociology, one of the your branches of sociology that deals with your primitive societies. According to your Fraser, sociology should be viewed as the most general to the origin, or rather the rudimentary your phases, the infancy and childhood of your human society. By limiting social anthropology to a study of savage life, Fraser echoed the ideas of uh, Wage and of Tyler in placing the anthropological emphasis on the early history and institutions of mankind. ଆମେ ଯଦି ଦେଖିବା ଯେ ଏକ narrower sense ରେ ଯଦି ଆମେ ବୁଝିବାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରିବେ, then your social anthropology particularly that deals with your primitive societies, and your sociology that your deals with your your urban and your developed society, the complexities related to your modern and your modern problems, the industrial your society. According to the your Radcliffe Brown, social anthropology is a comparative sociology. By the term comparative sociology, he would mean a science that applies the generalizing method of the natural sciences to the phenomena of the social life of man and to everything that we include under the term culture or civilization. So this is one of the your best your definition so far your social anthropology is concerned. Uh, so far your culture and civilization is concerns of the your human society that are covered by your social anthropology. Thus, he is of a considered view that social anthropology should look for nomothetic approach rather than the ideographic approach. That is, ideographic approach means search for particular scientific facts and processes as distinct from general law. It is a method to demonstrate a particular phenomena or event to establish a general law. There are also many other your anthropologists who concur to his view. For instance, Evans Pritchard, another well-known anthropologist, considers social anthropology as a branch of sociological studies, that branch which chiefly devotes itself to primitive societies. It is your definitions by your Pritchard. By going through these your definitions, you can get your quite your a clarity regarding the definitions of your social anthropology and the difference, the minimum difference between your social anthropology and sociology. According to, if you see the others your opinions, uh, Richard particularly, he opines that when people speak of sociology, they generally have in mind study of particular problems in civilized societies. If you give this sense to the word, then the difference between social anthropology and sociology is a difference of field. According to Hobel, The relationship between sociology and social anthropology are, in their broadest sense, one and the same. Both are the study of your social interrelationship, that is, the relations of man to man. In fact, your social anthropology and your sociology, these your two subjects, they are studying simultaneously the interrelationship of your uh, interrelations of man to man. They are you're covering the same your sphere of your society, that is your scientific investigations of the culture part, the every aspects of your uh, uh, society. Then, in fact, যদি ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା ଯେ so far social anthropology କୁ use କରାଉଥିଲା so as to study the your primitive your society. uh, you can say that social anthropology was the study of the others, like European community रे social anthropology की ଆମେ ଯଦି define କରିବା so far your ଆମେ ଯଦି European context ରେ ଆମେ ତାକୁ ଯଦି ବିଚାର କରିବେ ତାହେଲେ social anthropology was the study of the others. ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ବାହାର ପ୍ରିମିଟିଭ ସୋସାଇଟି କୁ ଆମେ ଷ୍ଟଡି କରୁଛୁ ଆମେ କହୁଛୁ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ଦ ୟର ସବଜେକ୍ଟ ମ୍ୟାଟର ଅଫ ୟର ସୋସିଆଲ anthropologist. କିନ୍ତୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ନିଜର ସୋସାଇଟି କୁ ଆମେ ଷ୍ଟଡି କରୁଛୁ ଅଫ आवर ओन ଆମେ କହୁଛୁ ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ ଦ ୟର ସବଜେକ୍ଟ ମ୍ୟାଟର ଅଫ ୟର ସୋସିଓଲୋଜିଷ୍ଟ. ଆମେ ଆମେ ଆମର ମଡର୍ନ ସୋସାଇଟି କୁ ଆମେ ଷ୍ଟଡି କରୁଛୁ, ଆମେ ଆମର ମଡର୍ନ ସୋସିଆଲ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଚର କୁ ମଡର୍ନ ସୋସିଆଲ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍ସ କୁ ମଡର୍ନ ସୋସିଆଲ ଇନଷ୍ଟିଟ୍ୟୁସନ ଆମେ ଷ୍ଟଡି କରୁଛୁ, ଆମେ କହୁଛୁ ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ ଦ ୟର ସବଜେକ୍ଟ ମ୍ୟାଟର ଅଫ ୟର ସୋସିଓଲୋଜିଷ୍ଟ. କିନ୍ତୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ଅଦର୍ସ ପ୍ରିମିଟିଭ ସୋସାଇଟି କୁ ଷ୍ଟଡି କରୁଛୁ, ଆମେ others your cultural aspect को हमें study करचु of their other societies, हमें कहचु नहीं this is the your subject matter of your social anthropologist. So this is the your you can say the general difference between your sociology and anthropology. But both anthropology and sociology, following the model of science, combine descriptions and generalizations. The pragmatic distinctions between these two disciplines came when their respective exponents began fieldwork. But it is the fact that both the subjects need each other to strengthen their disciplines and also do justice to the scope of the study of society at large. Then you can say that in the year not European countries, social anthropology was the study of the others and sociology of their own society. When the others, that is the non-Western scholars who were earlier only the subject matter of your social anthropology, they became scholars. The difference between these two disciplines became blurred. In the non-European and non-Western regions, particularly in the context of third world countries, the distinction between social anthropology and sociology at the level of the theory and method is extremely tenuous. In the Indian context, it has become even more difficult to differentiate between sociology and social anthropology in many respects. In India, it is too difficult to differentiate your study sphere of your social anthropologist and the study sphere of sociology. It is too difficult because in India, particularly the sociologists, they are covering both. Sometimes they are studying or they are interpreting, they are taking fieldworks in your so as to know the problems related to your modern society. They are also taking fieldworks. They are also taking investigations in your modern society, primitive society, both. So in Indian context, it is so difficult to differentiate the social anthropology and your sociology. Even the Indian Council of Social Science Research, ICSSR, the apex nodal funding agency of the social sciences, considers sociology and social anthropology in the same unit. At present, it is also noticeable where many social anthropologists are absorbed as faculties in sociology departments and your sociological research works in India. So in Indian context, it is too difficult, but in Europe particularly, they have differentiation. So far, your social anthropology and your sociology department is concerned. Studying primitive society, that is your social anthropology. You're studying your modern society, that is your sociology. So far, your European thought is concerned. Still, we have some differences. So far, your sociology and social anthropology is concerned. let's see, a notable difference between sociology and anthropology can be traced through historical roots. Anthropology is generally considered to have no roots in philosophy, while the former has. Means the sociology has your what is the your you can say the roots in philosophy. While the emergence of sociology can be mainly attributed to the attempt to bring about social order in the society, particularly in Europe, after the great social transformations brought about by industrial revolutions and French revolutions, its influence on the emergence of anthropology was not as direct as with sociology or other social sciences. Rather, it was an indirect influence through the opening of intellectual and geographical spaces to enable the European scholars to go outside the European society and study the pre-literate society. In fact, the emergence of sociology has your historical root, philosophical root. You know, it emerged so as to bring a social order in Europe after the your revolution, great your industrial your development. But there's your anthropology that came into existence when the European when they started studying the different societies other than your Europe, then European society को study करिबा आरंभ कले. This concept your social anthropologist and the anthropologist came into existence. The original focus of the areas of interest between sociology and anthropology has been one of the main factors of divergences. Sociology began with the focal interest with the study of society as a generalizing social science, particularly with a focus on a larger societal context to explain social phenomena. This is your subject, your matter of your sociology. It focuses on the study of industrialized societies who are considered as modern societies. On the other hand, the initial focal interest of anthropology was the study of the other. The study of the other. This other, this is your non-European societies. The other your primitive societies that you can tell them that you can take them as your other exotic communities that are non-European and your non-Western societies. This was the subject matter of your the focus of your you can say the anthropologist in Europe then. Hence, their focus and practice was on the study of simple, small-scale and pre-literate society situated outside Europe and Western societies. This was your subject or the focus area of your anthropologist in Europe. The trend changed particularly from about the mid 20th century when anthropologists have expanded their field studies to modern and urban settings, while sociologists have also ventured out to the studies of rural and simple societies. Now, it is too difficult to so as to demarcate the line of your interventions by both your stream, the sociology and your anthropology, because both are your taking interest so as to investigate, so as to interpret the both the primitive and your modern society. So it is too difficult so as to mark a line between these two streams and between the two sciences. So thank you, students. Any query? Right.
Learners, any query, any doubts to sir? Thank you very much, Bhuisha.
Sir. So, sir,
Any doubts, students? Any doubts? Any question?
Mr.
Any clarification? No question, students?
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Any doubts?
Excuse me, sir.
हाँ.
Yeah, go ahead.
पर्सनल रिक्वेस्ट थिला कि क्लास हाफ एन आवर कि 1 आवर आगरू आरंभ करथिले ही पर नथांता कि
माने
माने 8 रु किंबा 8:30 रु एक्चुअली
मैडम
मोर
सुनदु
आज्ञा
मैडम सुनदु एटा आमे सब पिलांगु नेकी चिंता करी करूची आपण कहबा 8टा आउ जने कहबे नाही सर 11टा आउ जने कहबे सर 7टा सेमती नुह जदि आपण जति पोर्शन जानि माने सुनी पारि नाहंती आमे याको YouTube चैनल भी अपलोड करछु ओके हमर आरसी भुवनेश्वर YouTube चैनल अछि यू आर अपलोडिंग ऑल वीडियोस देयर यू कैन गो थ्रू दैट आल्सो ओके आपण सेठु भी देखि परिबे
आज्ञा ठीक अछि थैंक यू
ठीक अछि
आज्ञा
कना सार अगर भी तो कन्वीनियंट हो दरकार ना समय
राइट
आगे।
सर और एक चीज पूछना था आपसे।
बोलिए।
मिस्टर
हेलो।
मुखर्जी,
हाँ सर एक चीज पूछना था आपसे कि जैसे मैं भोई सर से भी बात कर रहा था, अगर एक एक घंटे का 2 क्लास हो सकता है विदाउट वन सब्जेक्ट, ये अगर कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि सुबह से फ्रेंच इंडस्ट्रियल, अगस्टे कॉम्टे और कार्ल मार्क्स सुन के मॉर्निंग 9 से 11 इट्स
No,
बिकमिंग
no, no,
टफ
no.
सर,
Listen,
सॉरी
listen,
राइट
listen.
सर।
The IGNO
यस
IGNO system is this.
सर।
IGNO system is for the 2 hour class.
राइट सर।
So our
Okay.
system, you have to once you are alerting a class to, because you have to pay according to that.
राइट
Okay.
सर।
So you are
राइट सर।
paying for that counselor for the 2 hours. So
ओके।
our norm is 2 hours.
ओके।
So that's why if you
ओके।
break 1 hour, it's very
हाँ
tough
हाँ।
for us also.
ओके। ओके।
Okay. That's
ठीक है।
why
ठीक है।
then you have to bear with that. I'm extremely sorry
No,
for
no
that.
issues, no issues. Then when it is a rule, we'll have to follow. That's not
Yeah.
a thing. But
Yeah, yeah,
यही
yeah.
thing. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions, students? I will wind up. Okay, tomorrow
हेलो,
again same time. Tell me, ma'am.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
Good
ମୁଁ
morning.
ଜାଣିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଥିଲି ଯେ ଆଗରୁ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ଇଂଲିଶ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ମାନେ କନସଲ୍ଟ ହେଇସାରିଛି, ଯେ ସେ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ପାଇଁ ମୁଁ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ମାନେ ମୋତେ କିଛି ମେସେଜ ଆସିନଥିଲା କି କ୍ଲାସ୍ ହେଇଛି ବୋଲି। ମୁଁ ସେ କ୍ଲାସ୍
Go
ଗୁଡ଼ା
class.
କେମିତି
Go
ରିକଭର
class.
କରିବି ଇଂଲିଶର?
जो क्लास गुड़ाक आमर ହେଇଛି ଆମେ ସବୁଗୁଡାକ ଅପଲୋଡ କରିଛୁ ଆରସି ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର यूट्यूब चैनल रे ଆପଣ ସେଠୁ ଯାଇକି ଦେଖିପାରିବେ। ओके
सर प्लीज सर उसका लिंक भेज सकते हैं क्या, आर से भुवनेश्वर
हाँ
के यूट्यूब चैनल का
फाइन।
लिंक?
अब आप हमारा वेबसाइट में आप जाएंगे ना इग्नो आई मीन igno.ac.in। ओके
हाँ हाँ।
तो वहां
हाँ
पे
हाँ।
एक आरसी वंशर का भी साइट है, उसी के अंदर में ही उसी आरसी
अच्छा।
वंश का जो आरसी वंशर की वेबसाइट में जाओगे ना वहां पे आपको मिल
हाँ हाँ।
जाएगा इग्नो आरसी भुवनेश्वर यूट्यूब चैनल बोल के एक लिंक है, मैं लिंक भेज
तो
दूंगा। ठीक
ये सारे जो क्लासेस हो रहे हैं सब यूट्यूब में अपलोड हो जाएगा आर से
सब
भुवनेश्वर
सब
पे,
यूट्यूब में
राइट?
अपलोड हो रहा है, सब यूट्यूब
दैट्स
में अपलोड हो रहा
फैंटास्टिक। जब टाइम होगा तब हम लोग देख सकते हैं
है।
वहाँ
हाँ
पे, राइट?
जितने सारे सुनो जितने भी यूट्यूब देखो लाइव
हाँ हाँ।
लाइव होता है, अगर जब बोर होते हो तो
एग्जैक्टली।
आप देख सकते हो। ठीक है
राइट 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 सर,
ओके
राइट।
फाइन
थैंक यू
बिकॉज
सो मच सर, थैंक यू।
थैंक यू सर।
लाइफ टीचिंग इज ए लाइफ टीचिंग, क्योंकि आपका डाउट
एब्सोल्युटली।
आपका क्वेरी देन आपका देखो मतलब अब इसे एक टीचर पढ़ा रहा है आप सुन रहे हो अलग बात है, और एक
हाँ हाँ।
टेक्नोलॉजी से सुन रहे हो अलग बात है। तो बाकी वो
राइट।
देख सकते हो, अगर आपको जरूरत है तो आप उसको रेफर कर
नहीं
सकते
अपन हम लोग का अगर कोई डाउट्स भी होगा तो यूट्यूब में जो सब्सक्राइब कर लेंगे वहाँ पर भी तो कमेंट में हम लोग कमेंट बॉक्स में तो
हो।
डाउट्स
हाँ
दे
कमेंट में
सकते हैं,
आप दे सकते हो। ठीक है
है ना? तो
हाँ
ठीक है सर, थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू।
ओके
ସାର୍ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ
ओके
କଥା।
कौन
ହ୍ୟାଲୋ,
କୁହନ୍ତୁ।
ଯୋଉ ମୁଁ କହୁଥିଲି ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ଆମର ଷ୍ଟଡି ମେଟେରିଆଲ ଏପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ମିଳିନାହିଁ, ଠିକ
ଶୁଣନ୍ତୁ
ସେ
ମ୍ୟାଡାମ
ମିଳିନି।
ଯୋଉ ଏ ଯୋଉ ପେଣ୍ଡେମିକ ପାଇଁ ବୋଲି ସବୁ ମାନେ ଲକଡାଉନ ହେଇକି ଅଛି। ଓକେ ତ ବିକଜ ପୋଷ୍ଟାଲ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ଅଛି, କିନ୍ତୁ ଆଇ ମିନ୍ ଡେଫିନେଟଲି ୱିଲ୍ ଗେଟ୍ ୟୁର ଷ୍ଟଡି ମେଟେରିଆଲ। ଯଦି ମିନ୍ ୱେଲ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ସବୁ ସଫ୍ଟ କପି ମିଳିଯାଇଥିବ, ଏବେ ସଫ୍ଟ କପିରେ ଟିକେ ମ୍ୟାନେଜ କରିଥାନ୍ତୁ, ଆସିଯିବ। ଆଇ ମିନ୍ ହାର୍ଡ
ନାଇଁ
କପି ଆପଣ
ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି
ପାଇଯିବେ।
କିଛି ବି ମିଳିନି।
କାଇଁ ଆପଣ ମେଲ ଆଇଡି ନାହିଁ? ମେଲ ଆଇଡି ତ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ପଠେଇଛୁ।
ନାଇଁ ନାଇଁ ଆସି ନାହିଁ ସାର୍।
ଆପଣଙ୍କର ମେଲ ଆଇଡି ଅଛି ନା ନାଇଁ?
ଆଜ୍ଞା ଅଛି।
ମୁଁ ତ ଆଇ ହ୍ୟାଡ୍ ସେଣ୍ଡ ଇଟ୍ ଅଲ୍ ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟସ୍ ଟୁ ଦ ସଫ୍ଟ କପି।
ନାଇଁ ସାର୍ ସଫ୍ଟ कॉपी किसी भी ଆସିନି।
ଠିକ ଅଛି
तो
ଆପଣଙ୍କର
लिंक में मिला है सर, मेरे को तो मिला है, वो तो लिंक में क्लिक करने से बाय डिफॉल्ट वो
हाँ
डाउनलोड
बस
हो
वो
जाएगा।
ई ज्ञान कोश से आपको मिल जाएगा।
हाँ
ठीक है
ई ज्ञान कोश में,
ई
राइट।
ज्ञान कोश में आप उसको डाउनलोड कर लो, नहीं तो ठीक है। नहीं तो
अच्छा
आप एक
ठीक
काम
है।
करो, आपका व्हाट्सएप नंबर मुझे हाय आपका नाम और भेज दो, मैं आपको
सर कैन आई हैव योर नंबर प्लीज?
या माय नंबर इज 9861
वन सेकंड, जस्ट राइट,
54807।
आई जस्ट राइट इट डाउन, वन सेक,
या
वन सेक,
98611
वन सेक 98611
611 54807
611 देन
54807।
54807।
ठीक
ओके
है
सर, थैंक यू
आप
वेरी
लिंक
मच,
से
थैंक यू।
डाउनलोड कर लो, अगर नहीं हो पा रहा है तो आपका व्हाट्सएप नंबर भेजो, मैं आपको भेज दूंगा। ठीक है
एंड दिस इज अ व्हाट्सएप नंबर, राइट सर?
या दिस इज व्हाट्सएप।
थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Okay. Thank you.
ओके बाय बाय।
Thank you, Bhuisha.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, tomorrow then we'll join at 9 o'clock. Okay?
Okay, sir.
ओके।
Okay, fine. तो बोलो